Chapter 331, Blockhead Yun Chujio was stunned. Although when the lightning struck her last time, Di Biming had risked his life to save her, and she had already confirmed Di Biming's feelings toward her. When Di Biming said those words, Yun Chujio still felt that a corner of her frozen heart had collapsed. Although the gigolo is tsundere and he might not understand what love is, but he's sincere toward me. Although he's a little arrogant, he could still slowly get rid of that habit. Yun Chujio's eyes were sparkling as she looked at Di Biming. Prince Charming, I was just joking. I, Yun Chujio, am very tough. If anyone dares to kill me, I'll use lightning to kill him. If the two unlucky things in my dantian wants to harm me, I'll give up my dantian and get them out of my body. Di Biming's expression softened. Don't worry, black thing. I'll definitely find a way for you. Yes, my Prince Charming. I believe in you. Yun Chujio blinked her starry eyes and looked at Di Biming trustfully. An Feng and An Yin had to face the public display of affection. The two of them looked at each other and ran to a corner to pass time. The sky gradually darkened. Yun Chujio took a nap in the afternoon and was not sleepy at all. She shamelessly got Di Biming to sit on the roof and look at the stars with her. The corners of An Feng and An Yin's eyes twitched. Only Miss Jiu would dare to make our Lord do such a stupid thing. Yun Chujio put her arm behind her head and lay on the roof. She said with a smile, Prince Charming, look at the starry sky and the crescent moon. How beautiful they are. Di Biming hummed lightly. In his opinion, he did not see what was so beautiful about some stars and the moon. He might as well go into the house and cultivate. Prince Charming, I hope that we'll be together for a long time. We're under the same starry sky. When I'm not by your side, you can look at the moon and the stars. Maybe I'm also looking at the stars. Yun Chujio decided to cultivate the romantic cells in the gigolo. Then why bother? Don't you know that I have a voice transmission talisman? Di Biming said with slight disdain. Yun Chujio did not have any words. Damn it, this blockhead doesn't know what romance is. Yun Chujio tilted her head and glared at Di Biming. Then, her heart started to stir. Under the starlight, Di Biming was less tough and more gentle. His entire person was like a statue with a glowing body. It tickled the little pervert, Yun Chujio's heart. This pervert was extremely lecherous. She pounced on Di Biming and said, Gorgeous man, how can you let down such a beautiful scene? Come, let's relish this moment. Di Biming was stunned at first, then he waved his sleeve. An Feng and An Yin, who were watching the show, were immediately cut off from their six senses. Di Biming turned over and pressed Yun Chujio under his body. The hot kiss fell like a storm. After a long while, Di Biming stopped his dizzying touches and said in a hoarse voice, Black thing, you seduced me. Humph. I'm sleepy. I'm going back to the house to sleep. Yun Chujio pouted her slightly red and swollen lips and jumped off the roof. She ran into the house as if she was running away. She was being teased instead of being the teaser. It was so embarrassing. Di Biming looked at Yun Chujio's panicked back and could not help but laugh at the sky. It turns out that Black Thing was also shy. It's really, cute. Di Biming jumped down from the roof and followed her into the house. An Feng and An Yin finally returned to normal. An Feng whispered, Our honorable sir must have been molested by Miss Jiu again. I didn't expect our honorable sir to be so good at this. Before An Yin could say anything, Di Biming said coldly, An Feng, it seems that you have been too free recently. I heard that there is a polar region to the north of the Qingxian continent. The polar ice fish there are delicious. Go and hunt 100 of them. Chapter 332, A Lullaby from the Prince Charming. When Yun Chujio heard about the food, she immediately added, How can 100 of them be enough? An Feng, get more. It's best if you can get some prawns or crabs. If there are any snow lotuses or snow ginseng, get me a few hundred of them too. Anfeng was about to cry. Who told you to be mean? Who told you to be talkative? The northern polar region was extremely cold. If he went there, he would definitely be frozen into an ice sculpture. Moreover, there were many demonic beasts in the region and they were very ferocious. If he were to go there, he would definitely be skinned alive. Your Excellency, Miss Jiu, I was wrong. I will not spout nonsense next time. Please spare me this time. Anfeng immediately began to beg for mercy. Di Baiming snorted coldly and did not speak. Yun Chujiu blinked her eyes and sighed, Anfeng, actually, I also sympathize with you. But, about that, you have to show some respect, don't you? Anfeng immediately understood and said painfully, Miss Jiu, my storage ring is too small. I really can't fit 10,000 low-grade spirit stones in it. Why don't you keep it for me first? 10,000? You can keep it yourself. You'd better go fishing. Yun Chujiu said with slight disdain. Anfeng gritted his teeth. Miss Jiu, I remembered wrongly. It's 100,000. Yun Chujiu giggled. Prince Charming, I think Anfeng must have been talking nonsense just now. Please don't argue with him. It'll help you massage your shoulders. Let's not lower ourselves to his level. Di Baiming saw Yun Chujiu winking at him with all her might, and the corners of his mouth curled up. It won't happen again. Anfeng wiped the cold sweat off his forehead, and in his heart, he raised Yun Chujiu's status by another level. The decision made by their esteemed lord was something that even the Hall Master and the Hall Master's wife could not change. He did not expect that the Shi would be able to change his mind so easily. In the future, the Shi might not only be a concubine, but might even become their esteemed empress. Inside the house, Yun Chujiu was massaging Di Baiming's shoulders with all her might. As she massaged his shoulders, she mumbled, Prince Charming, why are your shoulders so hard? Let me see. Are they all muscles? This little pervert did not know how to take a beating. She had long forgotten about the embarrassing incident just now. As she spoke, she wanted to strip Di Baiming of his clothes. Di Baiming's expression was unnaturally angry as he scolded, how dare you touch me? There's no need to massage anymore. Turn off the lights and go to sleep. Yun Chujiu pouted, if you don't want a massage, then so be it. It just so happens that my hands are sore from massaging it anyway. Humph. After the two of them washed up, Yun Chujiu climbed into the bed and laid down obediently. Then, she said with starry eyes, Prince Charming, sing me a lullaby. Just sing the one you sang during the day. Just change mother's baby to my little Jiu. Di Baiming snorted coldly, I haven't settled scores with you yet. How dare you bring this up? Yun Chujiu buried her head in Di Baiming's arms. Prince Charming, it's my fault for lying to you. But your singing is so good. I've never heard such a good lullaby before. Can you sing it for me again? When Yun Chujiu acted coquettishly, Di Baiming felt his whole body go numb. Even if he were to die then and there, he would probably be happy. He coughed awkwardly. Lie down. I will reluctantly sing once for you. But after this time, it will not happen again. Yun Chujiu acknowledged, but what she thought in her heart, HMPH, if I can make you sing once or twice, then I can make you sing for me every day. This is just the beginning. Well see. Di Baiming's face flushed red as he began to sing. Yun Chujiu, this fellow, took an inch and then a mile. She said, Prince Charming, I still can't fall asleep. Pat me gently while you sing. Chapter 333, Successor Disciple. Di Baiming glared at her, but his hands were slowly and rhythmically patting Yun Chujiu. Yun Chujiu yawned and quickly fell asleep. Di Baiming kissed her on the forehead and slowly fell asleep. The next morning, Elder Chu's voice came from Yun Chujiu's identity jade token. All disciples gather at the southern Jade Square in an hour. Yun Chujio had breakfast and bid Di Baiming goodbye. She stood on the chopping board and left the courtyard. When Yun Chujio arrived, many disciples were already gathered at the southern Jade Square. When they saw Yun Chujio flying over, the new disciples greeted her one after another. She smiled and waved at everyone. Then, she jumped down from the chopping board and ran to Yun Chu and the others. Not long after, Master Xianyuan and the 5 peak masters also arrived with the elders. According to the results of this new disciple trial, you will be redistributed. I hope that you'll continue to cultivate in the future and become the backbone of Spirit Radiance sect as soon as possible. Now, Elder Chu will announce the specific names. Master Xianyuan said briefly, then, he asked Elder Chu to announce the names. The champion of this trial, Yun Chujio, has been directly promoted from a kitchen servant to Elder Sun Bozhong's successor disciple. Boom! Elder Chu's words were like a bucket of cold water poured into a pot of oil. The disciples of Spirit Radiance sect instantly exploded with commotion. The new disciples who participated in the trial were slightly better off. After all, they were very impressed that Yun Chujio was able to obtain the inner core of a Tier 8 demonic beast. However, those old disciples were very dissatisfied. On what basis? A mere servant at the 4th level of spirit enhancement actually became a true disciple in one step. Moreover, Elder Sun Bozhong had been in secluded cultivation. How could they possibly accept Yun Chujio as a true disciple? One had to know that Elder Sun did not even have one single true disciple. How many inner disciples had sharpened their skills to become Elder Sun's true disciple without success? What did this Yun Chujio have? Silence. From the 2nd to the 30th place in this trial, Liao Chuan, Amozwa, Bai Moyu, Bai Moru, Yun Chuzi, Yun Chushan, Yun Chu, Yun Chulu, Yun Chuki, Yun Chuba, Qing Si, Su Yun, Chindechuan, Xia Mufeng, Yuan Zhen. They were promoted to inner disciples. From the 30th to the 30th place, they are outer disciples. The rest of them are servants. Yun Chujio heard the names of the Bai siblings and Yun Chushan, and then she remembered what the 3 of them had done in the mystic realm. She could not mention the part where they framed Yun Chu or else it might attract the suspicion of Elder Zhang of Heavenly Gates sect. It might not be a good idea to mention the part where they ran away in the face of battle either. They would use the excuse that she could escape by crushing the Jade token. Looks like she would have to wait for another opportunity to get rid of them. After the meeting ended, Chen Duchuan and the other 8 people went to Yun Chujia's side and thanked her one after another. Junior sister Little Jiu, thank you very much. If you hadn't chased Su Yan ran away at that time, we wouldn't have been able to gather so many jade bell flowers, and we wouldn't have been able to advance to an inner sect disciple. In the future, if you need us in any way, just let us know. Yun Chujio looked at these 8 people. As expected, they were the few disciples of Spirit Radiance sect who did not follow Bai Moyu and the others at that time. That could be considered an indirect reward for not following the others. You're all too polite. You obtained all of this with your true abilities. There's no need to thank me. I hope that everyone will take good care of me in the future. Yun Chujio said with a smile. When Chen Dechuan and the others saw that Yun Chujio was so good with words, their impression of Yun Chujio became even better. In addition, she was now a core disciple, so everyone became even more friendly toward her. From afar, Bai Moru glared at Yun Chujio and cursed in a low voice, "This is dog shit. She's just lucky. A core disciple at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. What a joke." Chapter 334, Teach Me How to Concoct Pills. By Moya's eyes flickered a few times. Moru, watch your mouth. Yun Chujio will be in big trouble very soon. Yanren's cousin will definitely pin Zhang Xiong's death on Yun Chujio. Elder Zhang and the Heavenly Gates sect will not let this go so easily. Bai Moru stomped her feet hatefully. Brother, I understand. But this Yun Chujio is really difficult to deal with. Can Elder Zhang do it? Humph. The Heavenly Gates sect has long been dissatisfied with our Spirit Radiance sect. They just happen to use this as an excuse to make things difficult for us. I don't believe that the sect leader and the others will really have a fallout with the Heavenly Gates sect over Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio must die this time. Bai Moyu said with certainty. Oh right, there's the few male disciples who have just been promoted to the inner sect. If you have nothing to do, go and get in touch with them. It'll be useful in the future. Bai Moya's eyes flashed as he instructed. Yun Chushan was now obedient to the Bai siblings, so she naturally had no objections. Bai Moru was also happily enjoying the feeling of being adored by everyone, so she also happily agreed. Yun Chujio finally got rid of the enthusiastic Chinduchuan and the others, and was once again surrounded by Yun Chuzi and company. After a few moments, Su Yun also joined Yun Chu and the others. She said excitedly, "Junior sister Little Jiu, it's all thanks to the things you gave us. Otherwise, how would we be able to rank in the top 30? After killing Zhang Xiong and the other three, Yun Chujio gave the spoils of war to Yun Chu and the other two. She asked them to divide the spoils equally among Yun Chuzi and the others. Yun Chujio said seriously, "Senior sister Su Yun, brothers and sisters, you must keep your mouths shut about the spoils of war that I gave you. You must remember that these things were either obtained by yourselves or picked up by others. Do you understand?" Su Yun and the others were stunned at first, then they understood Yun Chujio's intention and nodded. "Little Jiu, we understand. I'm going to the Spirit Herb Garden to look for Elder Qi. We'll talk another day. All of you have to cultivate properly. Don't let others take us as a joke." Yun Chujio instructed and flew to the Spirit Herb Garden on the chopping board. "Elder Qi. Elder Qi. I've brought you something good." Elder Qi laughed bitterly. "Little ancestor Yun, don't pull my leg. What good thing can you give me? You've almost taken away all the medicinal herbs out of my Spirit Herb Garden." Yun Chujio laughed dryly. "Elder Qi, didn't I say it? I'm just an ordinary disciple of Spirit Radiance sect. Don't let it slip next time. I did borrow a lot of medicinal herbs from you, but I've really brought you something good this time. La la la, what do you think this is?" Elder Qi looked at it casually and then cried out in surprise, "This is the fruit of the golden thread grass. Where did you get it?" "I got it by accident during the trial. You can use it to refine spirit replenishing pills," Yun Chujio said with a smile. Elder Qi excitedly took the fruit. "Little Jiu, what compensation do you want? As long as I have it, I'll give it to you." Yun Chujio shook her head. "Last time, it was because of my negligence that the fruit was snatched by the red-clothed pervert. I'm trying to make up for my mistake. I don't need any compensation." Elder Qi saw that Yun Chujio was reasonable, so he was really not used to it for a moment. "Elder Qi, teach me how to refine pills." Yun Chujio blinked her eyes. It was really too troublesome to secretly refine pills. Elder Qi was short-handed. Moreover, he originally wanted to train Yun Chujio to be an apprentice alchemist. Now that Yun Chujio had spiritual power, it was not impossible for her to try refining pills. Yun Chujio had a heavenly thunder root spirit. Perhaps she really had the talent to refine pills. However, when Elder Qi thought of the poisonous smoke incident that Manager Gao had reported to him, he was somewhat uncertain. Was Yun Chujio really of pill refining material? Chapter 335, would definitely not release any poisonous smoke this time. How about this, Little Jiu? I'll first teach you the simplest hemostatic pill to see if you have the potential to refine pills. Come with me. Elder Qi brought Yun Chujio directly to the pill refining room up front. Manager Gao saw that Elder Qi had arrived and hurriedly came forward to welcome him. "Elder Qi, is there anything you need?" Open up an alchemy room. I want to teach Chujio how to refine a hemostatic pill. What the hell? The surrounding disciples were instantly shocked. Elder Qi was a grade 8 alchemist. Not just in Spirit Radiance Sect 2. He was one of the few in the entire Qingxian continent. Now, he actually wanted to personally teach Chujio how to refine a grade 1 hemostatic pill. Was that not overdoing it? He could just find someone else to teach her, right? Moreover, was Chujio not already accepted as Elder Sun's personal disciple? Why did Elder Qi still want to teach her? Everyone's gazes shifted to Ding Lang, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Although Ding Lang was Elder Qi's true disciple, Elder Qi was always focused on refining pills and rarely gave him pointers. Now, he was personally giving pointers to an outsider like Chujio. Master, the hemostasis pill is only a grade 1 pill. There's no need to trouble you to do this. Let me teach Chujio. A trace of malice flashed through Ding Lang's eyes. This Chujio first became enemies with my younger brother, and now she's trying to humiliate me. Sooner or later, it'll cripple her. Elder Qi felt that Ding Lang's words were not without reason, so he nodded. Alright, since that's the case, he'll let you demonstrate and he'll explain it to little Jiu. Ding Lang felt even more uncomfortable in his heart. You've never cared about me this much. What kind of bewitching potion did Chujio give you that you're actually so partial to her? Ding Lang demonstrated the refining method for the hemostasis pill. An hour later, Ding Lang opened the lid of the pill furnace, and a wave of medicinal fragrance wafted into the pill refining room. The disciples gathered around and cried out in surprise when they saw the pills at the bottom of the pill furnace. Heavens! An 80% success rate, and 6 of them are high-grade pills. Senior brother Ding Lang is indeed our Middle Peaks Alchemy senior. Such a success rate is too amazing. That's right, senior brother Ding Lang will advance to a grade 5 alchemist very soon. Such a talent can be said to be rare in Qingxian continent. Elder Qi nodded slightly. Ding Lang's aptitude was not bad, but he was a little impetuous. Chujio, do you want to give it a try? Ding Lang pretended to be enthusiastic as he asked. Sure. This pill refinement isn't that difficult. It looks like it's similar to the congee in the big kitchen, and it's not as troublesome as stir-frying vegetables. Chujio said with a smile. Since that's the case, then come over and try it. Ding Lang said disdainfully. Humph. She's just a good-for-nothing at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. Does she really think that pill refinement is that simple? I want to see how she will lose her honor. Elder Qi frowned slightly. Why is this Ding Lang so reckless? Chujio just watched it once. How could she possibly pick it up? This little Jiu is too much too. Did she really think that refining pills was that easy? However, it's also good in a way. She would be able to stay calm in the future if her spirit was dampened. Chujio walked to the front of the pill furnace and prepared to refine pills. Manager Gao suddenly said, Chujio, wait a moment. Everyone, quickly prepare the cloth and handkerchief, or else you might suffer later. Elder Qi, you should also make some preparations. Every time this Chujio concocts pills, we burst into tears. It's simply comparable to poisonous smoke. Chujio touched her nose unnaturally and coughed dryly. Don't worry. Don't worry. This time, it won't happen. I was just fooling around previously. With Elder Qi's explanation this time, I've already understood everything. I definitely won't release any poisonous smoke this time. The more Chujio said that, the more worried the surrounding disciples became. Sure enough, everyone took out a piece of cloth and prepared to cover their mouths and noses for a while. Chapter content: add media visual text paragraph. The corners of Elder Qi's eyes could not help but twitch. Although he did not make any moves because of his identity as an elder, he was even more uncertain about Chujio. It seemed that little Jiu was really not the type to refine pills. Chapter 336, This was impossible. Yun Chujio opened the alchemy furnace in a decent manner. First, she put in 2 portions of snake vines, then half of the lotus seeds, and then 1 portion of Tsingling Virginia rhizome. Elder Qi nodded slightly. Yun Chujio's memory was quite heaven-defying. The quantity and order of the herbs were exactly the same. Ding Lang, who was at the side, curled his lips in disdain. Alchemy was not a memorization exercise. The most important thing was the control of spiritual power. If the spiritual power was not well controlled, even if the herbs were put in the right place, it would be useless. Yun Chujio began to form a seal and slowly inject spiritual power into it. It looked decent. Everyone looked at each other in puzzlement. It seemed that Yun Chujio would not produce poisonous smoke this time. It seemed that this step and everything else were done correctly. Just as everyone nodded their heads, Yun Chujio opened the lid of the pill furnace, picked up a few snake vines, and threw them in. After a while, she opened the lid of the pill furnace again and threw in a few lotus seeds. Everyone's lips could not help but twitch. Did this person really think that pill refinement was the same as stir-frying vegetables? If it was bland, she would put in some salt, but if it was bitter, she would put in some sugar. The greatest taboo in pill refinement was to open the lid of the pill furnace midway. Not only would this cause the heat to dissipate, it would also waste spiritual energy. This pill would definitely be useless. Elder Qi also shook his head slightly. However, this was little Jiu's first time refining, so it was inevitable that she would make mistakes. After all, an average person would only succeed after failing at least 1,000 times in pill refinement. Ding Lang's eyes flashed with pride. This Yun Chujio did not even know the most basic knowledge of refining pills. Sooner or later, her master would lose patience with her. At that time, he would cripple her with little bits of tricks. After a quarter of an hour, Yun Chujio withdrew her spiritual power and said with a smile, "Success." As Yun Chujio said this, she was about to open the lid of the pill furnace. Wait. Yun Chujio, it will take at least an hour to refine the hemostasis pill. It's not the time yet. I'm afraid that the herbs inside are probably all just juice. Manager Gao kindly reminded Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio giggled. Cooking can be divided into cooking with big and small fires. You guys simmer it slowly over a small fire, which I stir-fry it in a hurry. The effect is the same. The corner of Manager Gao's eyes twitched. What nonsense! Can stir-frying and pill refinement be the same? Everyone also curled their lips. This Yun Chujio really did not know what was good for her. Manager Gao was right. Before the time was up, the medicinal herb juice definitely would not take shape. It would take at least an hour. There had never been anyone who could refine a cauldron of pills in a quarter of an hour. This Yun Chujio was just waiting to be slapped in the face. Elder Qi did not say anything because from his point of view, the cauldron of pills was definitely useless. It did not matter if it was opened earlier or later. After all, it was her first time refining, so it was normal for her to fail. Yun Chujio opened the lid of the cauldron with a smile. Immediately, a rich medicinal fragrance filled the air. Everyone thought to themselves, they did not expect the medicinal liquid to be quite so fragrant. Meddlesome disciples went forward and looked at the bottom of the alchemy furnace with disdain. Then, they were all dumbfounded. Ding Lang saw that everyone was stunned. He could not help but curl his lips in disdain. These idiots. It's just some medicinal juice. Could it be that they thought Yun Chujio could really refine pills? Elder Qi saw that Yun Chujio was still smiling and was not affected by the blow. He nodded slightly. This child's mentality was not bad. Thus, he said encouragingly, "Little Jiu, refining pills isn't that easy. You have to go through thousands of failures before you can succeed. It doesn't matter if you fail this time. Continue to work hard in the future. At that moment, a disciple cried out, "No, this is impossible." This disciple's cry seemed to have woken up the rest of the stunned crowd. They also began to cry out. Chapter 337, One-Hit Wonder. How is this possible? How can Yun Chujio have 100% success rate? Yeah, and there are 8 high-grade pills. It's even better than senior brother Ding Lang's success rate and quality. How's this possible? Ding Lang heard them and shouted angrily, "You guys are talking nonsense. How can Yun Chujio?" Ding Lang walked closer, and when he saw the pills at the bottom of the pill furnace, he stopped talking. He saw that there were 10 round hemostatic pills at the bottom of the pill furnace. 8 of them were high grade and 2 were middle grade. Impossible. How could this trash of a person, Yun Chujio, be more powerful than a 4th grade alchemist like him? This was impossible. When Elder Qi heard the crowd's discussion, he also came forward to take a look. An extremely shocked expression plastered his face. After being stunned for a moment, his heart shook violently. That's right. Elder Duanmu had once said that heavenly root spirits might have a hidden talent. Could it be that Yun Chujio's talent was not a photographic memory, but an astonishing talent in pill refinement? Elder Qi took out the medicinal pill at the bottom of the pill refinement cauldron and sniffed it carefully. It was true. That was a high-grade hemostatic pill. "Little Jiu, refine another cauldron," Elder Qi said with a trembling voice. Yun Chujio was a little dumbfounded. She had already taken it easy. She did not even make a supreme grade item, yet it was still so sensational. Was she too strong, or were these people too weak? Yun Chujio started making a second batch. Ding Lang came back to his senses and thought to himself that perhaps the previous batch was a lucky coincidence. This batch would definitely fail. It would definitely. The surrounding disciples also felt that the situation was a little unbelievable. Although Yun Chujio had come to the alchemy room to fiddle around a few times before, she had failed every time. How could she be so heaven-defying all of a sudden? Could it be that it was just a coincidence? Yun Chujio did the same thing and added medicinal herbs into the alchemy furnace at a leisurely pace. Then, she continued to add a few medicinal herbs from time to time. 15 minutes later, the rich medicinal fragrance once again filled the entire alchemy room. Elder Qi rushed to the front impatiently. With trembling hands, he opened the lid of the cauldron. 10 round pills appeared at the bottom of the cauldron. It was still 100% success rate. 8 high-grade pills, and 2 middle-grade pills. The crowd immediately burst into an uproar. It could be said that the first time was a fluke, but the result was the same both times. This could only mean that Yun Chujio was truly a genius in pill refining. It seems like the reason why Yun Chujio released the poisonous smoke in the past was because she was experimenting. Once she had the guidance of a master teacher, she was then heading down the correct path. That's right. Junior sister Little Jio's perseverance is worth learning from. Every time junior sister Little Jio came to practice, she would carry a huge sack of medicinal herbs on her back. The poisonous smoke was so terrifying, but she wasn't afraid at all and continued to persevere. This is the power of perseverance. In the future, junior sister Little Jio will be my idol. She will definitely become Qingxian Continent's pride in the future. Elder Qi was stunned for a moment before he laughed out loud. Good. Good. In the future, you will learn alchemy from me, Little Jio. With your talent, you'll soon surpass me. Yun Chujio said with a smile, Elder Qi, how can I compare to you? As long as I can learn half of your abilities, I'll be satisfied. Elder Qi said, good. Good. If it wasn't because of your identity, I would definitely take you in as my last disciple. However, this isn't a big deal. From tomorrow onward, as long as you have the time, come and look for me. I'll teach you everything that I've learned in my life. Ding Lang was so angry that his face turned ashen. With great difficulty, he suppressed his jealousy and asked with a smile, Master, then can I follow Yun Chuzhou and learn from you too? Elder Qi frowned slightly. You'd better practice on your own first. I've taught you everything I can. What's left is personal comprehension and practice. Little Jiu, let's go. Follow me back to the spirit herb garden. I need to ask you a few questions. Looking at Elder Qi and Yun Chuzhou bouncing back, Ding Lang's eyes turned red with anger. Very good, old man. Smelly girl. Since you've humiliated me like this, don't blame me for being merciless. Chapter 338, Why is the pill furnace missing? Elder Qi brought Yun Chuzhou back to his residence. After opening the isolation array, he asked, Little Jiu, why do you add medicinal herbs into the pill furnace from time to time? Elder Qi, only you would ask me to tell the truth. Actually, I discovered that the quality of the medicinal pills is closely related to the purification of the medicinal herbs. I used my spiritual sense to sense the changes in the medicinal herbs and then added the medicinal herbs according to the needs. What? Are you kidding me? Elder Qi thought that there was something wrong with his ears. A person's spiritual sense was extremely fragile, and the temperature in the pill furnace was extremely high. Sending one's spiritual sense into the pill furnace was basically no different from committing suicide. Why you said to send one's spiritual sense into the pill furnace? Elder Qi felt that he must have misheard. Yes. It's so warm and comfortable. Elder Qi, you can try it next time. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile. Elder Qi shook his head like a rattledrum. His spiritual sense was already damaged, so he did not want to court death. That was right. She had a heaven-defying thunder root spirit. She was not even afraid of being struck by lightning, let alone this earth fire. Elder Qi sighed and then said, refining pills in the pill refining room isn't a long-term solution. I have a pill furnace that I used in the past. Although the quality isn't great, it's enough for you to use as a beginner. Elder Qi took out a pill furnace from his storage ring and handed it to Yun Chuzhou. Yun Chuzhou looked at it and knew that this pill furnace was very old. She then said with a straight face, Elder Qi, this pill furnace alone isn't enough. I still need refining flints. Please give me 100 or so refining flints. The corner of Elder Qi's mouth twitched slightly. This Yun Chuzhou really squeezed each opportunity dry. He heard that she won 2 million spirit stones from the Heavenly Gates sect, and she was even greedy for his refining flints. Elder Qi had no choice but to give Yun Chuzhou 100 pieces of refining flints, and then said, now, he'll explain the refining method for stasis-dissolving pills to you. Elder Qi explained and demonstrated, and finally refined 10 stasis-dissolving pills, 8 upper-grade pills and 2 middle-grade pills. Little Jiu, you try it. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes. She could not be more powerful than Elder Qi, right? Then she better hide it. Thus, Yun Chuzhou finally refined 10 stasis-dissolving pills, but 7 of them were high-grade and 3 were middle-grade. Elder Qi was ecstatic. Ha! Genius! Indeed a genius in pill refining. Little Jiu, your future is limitless. Hurry up and cultivate. As your spiritual power increases, the variety of pills you can refine will increase. Yun Chuzhou nodded. Elder Qi, I understand. Then I'll head back first today. I'll come by to bother again when I have time. It's not a bother. It's not a bother. Other than the high-level spirit herbs in the spirit herb garden, feel free to use the others. If there's anything you don't understand, feel free to ask me. Elder Qi now found Yun Chuzhou pleasing to the eye. If she was not the true disciple of ancestor Linghua, he would have snatched her over to be his disciple no matter what. After Yun Chuzhou thanked him, she rode on the chopping board and returned to the dormitory. Prince Charming. Prince Charming. I'm back. Did you miss me? Does it feel like it's been 3 years since we last saw each other? Yun Chujio started to shout as soon as she entered the courtyard. Di Baiming was drinking tea when he heard Yun Chujio's words. He almost choked. Cough cough. Black thing, can't you be more calm? How are you a girl if you're constantly acting crazy? Don't you like my craziness? If I change, I'm afraid you'll regret it. Yun Chujio moved to Di Baiming's side and said with a cheeky smile. Then, she snatched Di Baiming's teacup and drank from it. Di Baiming saw that Yun Chujio had finished drinking, so he poured another cup and continued drinking the tea nonchalantly. An Feng gestured at an een with his mouth. When the Honorable Sir met Miss Chiu, he had long forgotten all that nonsense about cleanliness. If it was anyone else who touched the teacup with their hands, the Honorable Sir would not even be able to take the teacup, let alone drink the tea. What did you do today? Di Baiming asked indifferently. The results from the trial was announced. Oh right, I even pretended to learn alchemy from Elder Qi. He even gave me an alchemy furnace that he used. I'll take it out for you to see. Huh? Why is the alchemy furnace missing? That's strange. Yun Chujio exclaimed. Chapter 339, It was a monster. Yun Chujio rummaged through the storage ring for a long time. I clearly put it in this storage ring. How did it disappear? What the hell? Di Baiming frowned slightly. Could it be that you put it in the other 2 storage rings? Yun Chujio used her divine sense to rummage through it again. No, the other 2 don't have it either. Could it be that the alchemy furnace could grow legs and run away? Even if it had legs, it wouldn't be able to run away. At that time, the rolling pin said weakly, Master. Master. I'll report it. Yun Chujio took out the rolling pin from the storage ring. Little flame, what happened? The rolling pin said with a sobbing voice, Master. I agreed to it, but please don't put me and the monster in the same ring in the future. I watched it eat the alchemy furnace. Monster? What monster? Yun Chujio was confused and asked. It's your other alchemy furnace. Sob sob, it's a monster. It's so scary. Sob sob, it scared me to death. The rolling pin was obviously scared. The other alchemy furnace? Yun Chujio took out an alchemy furnace from her storage ring. It was the Heaven and Earth Universal Furnace that Di Baiming gave her. Yun Chujio looked at it carefully and did not find anything unusual. Was this knit a higher grade alchemy furnace? The rolling pin said with a trembling voice, Master. Yes, that's it. It ate that alchemy furnace. Yun Chujio looked at Di Baiming. Prince Charming, can this Heaven and Earth Universal Furnace eat an alchemy furnace? Di Baiming frowned. That's not possible. It's impossible for an alchemy furnace to have a weapon spirit. Moreover, even if it has a weapon spirit, it wouldn't eat other alchemy furnaces. Yun Chujio was a little doubtful. After all, the rolling pin would not lie. Moreover, the alchemy furnace that Elder Qi gave her had indeed mysteriously disappeared. There was no other explanation other than being eaten by the furnace. Just as Yun Chujio was puzzled, she heard a light burp in her consciousness. Who is it? Get out here. Yun Chujio asked with her spiritual sense. Then, Yun Chujio heard baby-like sounds which seemed to be very happy. Yun Chujio was dumbfounded. Well, my God. Does the alchemy furnace really not have spiritual sense? Yun Chujio asked timidly. Of course not. Didn't I tell you before? Whether it was the earth fire or the refining flint, they all had the burning effect. That was why no alchemy furnace from ancient times ever produced a spirit. Besides, if the alchemy furnace has a spirit, how great will it be? Wouldn't that mean anyone can become a high-level alchemist? Di Biming said with certainty. Yun Chuzhou touched her chin and then coughed dryly. Well, my Prince Charming, I'm afraid this heaven and earth universal furnace is the first alchemy furnace with a spirit. Di Biming glared at her. Black thing, don't talk nonsense. How is this possible? Then let's test it out. Which one of you has an alchemy furnace in your storage ring? Take one out and see if the furnace eats it. Yun Chuzhou shrugged. Di Biming and the other two really did not have an alchemy furnace in their storage rings. Yun Chuzhou suddenly remembered that she put Zhang Xiong's and the other two's storage bags into the storage ring that she got from Shui Wuji. She rummaged through the storage ring and found an alchemy furnace. She quickly took it out. Chapter 340, Glutton Pill Furnace. Yun Chuzhou placed the pill furnace and heaven and earth universal furnace on the stone table. Then, she said with her divine sense, little baby, eat. The heaven and earth furnace did not move. And Feng could not help but say, Miss Jiu, don't joke around. It's impossible for this pill furnace to have a spirit. Besides, even if it does, it's impossible for it to eat other pill furnaces. And Feng's words came to an abrupt end as the heaven and earth universal furnace slowly approached the other furnace. What was that? This thing could move on its own. Fuck, could this be a dream? And Feng pinched himself secretly, grimacing in pain. It seemed to be real. It was not a dream. Oh my god. Everything's incredible when it came to Miss Jiu. If people knew about the pill furnace that had a spirit, would they not fight over it? With such a pill furnace, the chances of forming pills would definitely increase greatly, and the quality of the pills would also be easier to control. However, it was true that it had a spirit. Did that mean it would gnaw on other furnaces? The four people's eyes were fixed on the stone table. Seeing that no one was stopping it, the heaven and earth universal furnace began to speed up. When it approached the other alchemy furnace, the part of the ordinary alchemy furnace that was close to it visibly softened. Finally, it turned into a liquid. Then, the lid of the heaven and earth furnace opened automatically and the liquid went into the heaven and earth furnace's opening. Everyone was dumbfounded. And Feng, in particular, had his mouth wide open. His eyes were as wide as copper bells. That was not a freaking alchemy furnace. That was a monster. In a short while, that alchemy furnace had been eaten by the heaven and earth furnace. Yun Chuzhou stretched her neck and looked into it. There was nothing there, and she did not know where the juice had gone. Then, faint burps and cheerful babbling sounds could be heard in her spiritual sense. Yun Chuzhou laughed dryly, hee, actually it's nothing. It's just a spirit. My rolling pin has a spirit too. Eating is normal as well. Even Furry and the rolling pin eats. The rolling pin said weakly, Master, but I can't eat another pin. Master, please don't put me with that monster. I'm so scared. Yun Chuzhou said with a smile, don't worry. I guess it's not interested in you. It's just eating the alchemy furnace. Otherwise, it would have eaten you long ago. Prince Charming, where did you get this heaven and earth universal furnace? I've never seen it eat before. It has been kept in the warehouse all this time. Nothing unusual has happened. Di Biming thought to himself. Could it be that it was formed after being refined by this glutton? Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and said, Prince Charming, are you using the isolation array now? Then he'll try to use this heaven and earth universal furnace to refine pills and see how it differs from an ordinary alchemy furnace. Di Biming nodded and asked An Feng and An Yin to increase their vigilance and keep an eye on the situation outside. Yun Chuzhou thought about it and decided to refine a level 4 exploding spirit pill since she had never refined an exploding spirit pill before. Yun Chuzhou took out the flint stone and lit it. She then placed the furnace on it. Initially, Yun Chuzhou was worried that the spirit would be burned to death. However, she did not expect to hear a satisfied squeak from her consciousness. It was as pleasant as eating a cold watermelon on hot days. Chapter 341, Golden Pill Patterns. Yun Chujio added the herbs according to the steps. During the refining process, she used her spiritual sense to observe the degree of purification of the herbs. Then, she added different types of herbs. It seemed that everything was no different from using other pill furnaces. Prince Charming, this furnace is no different from other pill furnaces. Could it be that it's just a foodie? Yun Chujio muttered. Open the lid of the furnace and take a look. Di Biming felt that the heaven and earth universal furnace would definitely not be so simple. Yun Chujio slowly opened the lid of the furnace, and instantly, the entire small courtyard was filled with an extremely rich medicinal fragrance. Oh my God! Miss Jiu, this is too exaggerated. I feel that spiritual power is drilling into my body just from smelling this medicinal fragrance. Anfeng shouted in surprise. Yun Chujio took out a pill from the bottom of the pill furnace and looked at it. Those with pill patterns are super-grade pills, but they're gray in color. What does this golden pill pattern mean then? Di Biming shook his head. He had never heard of pills with golden pill patterns before. The strange grass in Yun Chujio's dantian suddenly became excited and kept clamoring to eat the pills. You foodie! You only know how to eat all day long. Yun Chujio muttered a few words, then picked up a piece of pill and swallowed it like candy. The strange grass did not stop even after having the pill and still clamored to have more. Yun Chujio stuffed the pill into her mouth one by one, and in the end, there was only one left. Anfeng took it and said, Miss Jiu, let me test the efficacy of this pill. Anfeng swallowed the pill with golden patterns. Then, he realized that the spiritual energy in the small courtyard was crazily surging into Anfeng's body. Di Biming simply waved his sleeve and withdrew the isolation array. Anfeng could see the spiritual energy within 1,000 feet surging toward him. After a quarter of an hour, Anfeng stood up and said excitedly, Oh my God! Is this an explosive spirit pill? It's even more overbearing than the level 7 spirit gathering pill I've eaten before. If I take this when I'm fighting enemies, it'll definitely be able to quickly replenish my spiritual power. Miss Jiu, please hurry up and refine a few more furnace full and give me a few bottles. Di Biming set up the isolation array again and said to Yun Chujio, Black Thing, don't use this heaven and earth furnace in front of others in the future. Otherwise, it'll bring you trouble. Yun Chujio said with sparkling eyes, Got it. Prince Charming, you're so nice. I'll refine a few more pills for you. Di Biming's ears felt slightly hot but he pretended to be calm. Yun Chujio did not stop refining a few more bottles of blood coagulation pills and explosive spirit pills. The strange grass in her dantian kept screaming hungry, hungry, hungry. Just feeding it needed more than 10 ordinary furnaces worth. Di Biming and the others were all dumbfounded. There was no need to even mention Yun Chujio's rate and quality of pill formation, but even her speed seemed to be increasing. What the hell? Originally, half a day was needed for normal pill refining. Yun Chujio needed a quarter of an hour at the beginning, and suddenly, she only needed a quarter of that time. Yun Chujio was constantly seen working hard like Little Bee, constantly walking to and fro the furnace to add herbs. In the end, because there were no more refining flints and she had to stop. Anfeng, go out and buy some flint for me. Then, buy some herbs according to the list. Oh right, get a few more ordinary pill furnaces to feed my little Tian. In order to get a few more bottles of these strange pills, Anfeng eagerly went. He only remembered halfway that Miss Jiu did not give him any spirit stones. Ah! Chapter 342, Strong Deity Turned Soft and Gentle in less than 2 hours, Anfeng bought the items back and then said with an apologetic smile, Miss Jiu, these things cost a total of 80,000 spirit stones. Have a look. Yun Chujio looked at him and said with a smile, "Do you want 80,000 spirit stones or the one-of-kind pills that I refined for you?" Anfeng saw the look of disdain in his superior's eyes and immediately became terrified. "Of course I want the pills. Miss Jiu, please take it as if I was talking nonsense." Yun Chujio giggled, "I'm kidding. I'm a reasonable person. We're friends. Why would I cheat you? Take it." Yun Chujio transferred 80,000 spirit stones to Anfeng and continued to make the pills. Anfeng and An were stunned. Friends? Miss Jiu said that she was friends with them. They were the Lord's subordinates, and Miss Jiu was a lady that the Lord liked. How could she treat them as friends? Although the women of Tianyuan continent wanted to get close to the Lord and please him, the disdain in their eyes toward them could not be hidden. Only Miss Jiu did not treat them as servants. Di Baiming looked at the two stunned people and then shifted his gaze to Yun Chujio, who was focused on refining pills. With the increase of spiritual power, Yun Chujio's skin had become fair, especially her eyes, which were like a pool of spring water, bright and lively. Di Baiming felt his heart beat faster and faster, thinking of the lingering words between the two. A certain someone's face turned red again. Yun Chujio's alchemy finally came to an end. Then, she fed the alchemy furnace that she bought to the heaven and earth furnace. The heaven and earth furnace was probably already full, so it only ate one alchemy furnace and stopped eating thereafter. Yun Chujio put it and the alchemy furnaces into her storage ring. The rolling pin did not dare to go in no matter what, so Yun Chujio could only put the rolling pin into another storage ring. Yun Chujio kept some pills for herself and gave some to Di Baiming and the others. Then she touched her stomach and said, "Idle, let's have dinner. I'm starving." After the two of them had dinner and chatted for a while outside, Yun Chujio yawned and said that she was sleepy. Refining pills consumed a lot of spiritual power. Only a weirdo like Yun Chujio would be able to endure it. The two of them washed up briefly. Yun Chujio climbed to the side of the bed and yawned as she said, "Idle, sing the lullaby." Di Baiming frowned. "Didn't we agree yesterday? I'll only sing it once. I won't sing it anymore." Di Baiming thought to himself. He was a majestic overlord. How could he sing the lullaby for others? It would be so embarrassing if it got out. He could not sing it no matter what. Yun Chujio pouted. "Prince Charming, my hand is cramping from refining pills today. Who do you think I'm doing this for? Can't you feel a little sorry for me? Prince Charming, I beg you, just sing one more time." Di Baiming's determination was immediately shaken. Should he sing one last time? "Prince Charming. My good Prince Charming, please pity me." "Okay." Yun Chujio hugged Di Baiming's arm and shook it. Her little head rubbed against Di Baiming's chest. Di Baiming's determination had long disappeared as he hummed in a low voice, "The moon is bright, the wind is still, the leaves cover the window lattice. The crickets chirp, 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 like the sound of the zither strings. The sound of the zither is soft and melodious, the cradle is swaying gently. Ah, my little Jiu, close your eyes, sleep with that, sleep in your dream, Prince Charming, pat me." Di Baiming could only raise his hand and pat Yun Chujio slowly and rhythmically as he sang. Yun Chujio was extremely proud in her heart. "Humph. Little fellow, no matter how strong your heart is, I can still turn you into a soft and gentle person. Little gigolo, sooner or later, you'll be my slave." Chapter 343, Residence. The next day, Yun Chujio opened her eyes, feeling refreshed. Di Baiming had woken up a long time ago. He was afraid that he would wake Yun Chujio up, so he just laid there and did not get up. Yun Chujio hugged Di Baiming's neck and kissed his face. "Good morning, Prince Charming." Di Baiming was overjoyed, but he said, "It's early in the morning. Don't mess around." Yun Chujio laughed evilly, "Tisk, my handsome man. Are you not happy that I kissed you? I simply must kiss you today. Yun Chuzhou pounced on Di Biming and gnawed his face. Di Biming felt that if he did not do anything, he would be worse than a beast. Hence, Yun Chuzhou left the house with red and swollen lips. Damn it! Damn gigolo! He usually looked sullen, but when he kissed her, he was really fierce. I can't go out today. Otherwise, it would be hilarious if people saw me. An Feng and An Yin saw Yun Chuzhou, so they quickly ran to the corner to pass time. Just after breakfast, the voice of the manager of the affairs office came from the identity jade token, asking all the new disciples to go to the affairs office to be reassigned to their departments and accommodation. Yun Chuzhou had no choice but to take out a gauze to cover her face and fly to the affairs department on the chopping board. When Yun Chu and the others saw Yun Chuzhou covered with the gauze, they could not help but ask curiously, "Little Jiu, why are you covered with the gauze?" "Well, I have a rubella," Yun Chuzhou said with incomparable calmness. Everyone did not suspect her and only asked a few questions with concern. Yun Chuzhou quietly changed the topic and started to talk about the accommodation. The person in charge of the distribution department and the residence was still Qi Sheng. However, this time, his attitude toward Yun Chuzhou and the others had taken a 180-degree turn. Last time he was as cold as ice, but this time he was as warm as spring. "Junior sister Little Jiu, you're a personal disciple. You can choose a residence in the upper part of the middle section of Middle Peak. The spiritual qi there is much stronger than at the foot of the mountain." Qi Sheng was afraid that Yun Chuzhou would look for trouble, so he said with a smile. Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes, thought for a moment, and said, "My master is still in secluded cultivation, so I won't change my accommodation for the time being. Let's talk about it after my master comes out of cultivation." Not only Qi Sheng, but everyone was stunned. Was Yun Chuzhou stupid? She was living at the foot of the mountain, and the spiritual qi there was far inferior to the spiritual qi in the personal disciple area. Besides, she was living in the servants' dormitory in the Middle Peak's big kitchen. How demeaning. Yun Chu tugged at Yun Chuzhou's sleeve. "Little Jiu, don't be willful." Yun Chuzhou smiled at her. "Fifth sister, I have my own plans. You guys choose yours." Yun Chu and the others were already used to listening to Yun Chuzhou's words. Seeing that she insisted, they went along with her. After exiting the office, Rolling Pin asked in puzzlement, "Master, why didn't you change your residence?" "Of course there's a reason. Right now, my residence is remote and there aren't many people coming. It's the best. Firstly, Gigolo and Black Chicken Head often comes to look for me. These two are fearless masters. It wouldn't be good if others got caught in this. Secondly, I have too many secrets. It's better if I don't attract attention. Thirdly, and most importantly, it'll always attract lightning. It won't be good if I implicate others. My current living quarters is close to the back of the mountain, which is great because I can run back there if needed." As soon as Yun Chuzhou finished speaking, dark, rolling clouds began to gather in the sky. Yun Chuzhou looked up and said in a calm tone, "Look, speaking of the devil. Let's go to the back of the mountain." Chapter 344, The Overlord Who Turned on the Flirting Mode. Yun Chuzhou rode on the chopping board and leisurely arrived at the back of the mountain. The huge pit that was created by the lightning had already been filled up. She did not know where they had transplanted the trees. Anyway, the back of the mountain was a thriving scene. Yun Chuzhou could not help but feel a little guilty. After this strike, the back of the mountain would probably be filled with destruction again. She was really a little expert at destroying ecological balance. The clouds above the back of the mountain became heavier and darker. The voice transmission talisman in the storage ring started to tremble. "Black Thing, are you at the back of the mountain?" "Prince Charming, I'm at the back of the mountain. The little purple loach is going to strike me again." Yun Chuzhou was stunned, but her heart warmed up. The gigolo misses me. Wait for me. Di Biming only said 2 words, and Yun Chujia's heart palpitated. She could not help but pat herself on her face. You're quite promising. Di Biming soon appeared in front of Yun Chujio. My Prince Charming, you just watch from the side. They can't do anything to me. Yun Chujio did not know why, but she still felt a little shy. Di Biming nodded, don't worry, I'm here. Yun Chujio felt her little heart thumping violently. TSK, why did the gigolo turn on his flirting mode at the slightest disagreement? She really wanted to pounce on him and ravage him. Boom! 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 A series of lightning bolts woke Yun Chujio up from her daze. This fellow was interrupted and immediately became angry. Yun Chujio placed her hands on her waist and started to curse. Damn it! Don't you have eyes? Can't you see that I'm talking to my Prince Charming? Don't you have any manners? Haven't you learned moral education? Are all of you from the dark thunder clouds world so uncultured? None of you are worthy of such a noble color like purple. A bunch of loaches. There's a word that fits all of you perfectly. It's the combination of all of you. Strike me. If you have the ability, continue to strike me. The thing that I'm least afraid of is being struck by lightning. If you don't strike me, you're a slow tortoise-like bastard. When Furry saw this scene, his face was filled with tears. How stupid was she? She even wanted to kill this scourge with lightning. Good heavens, her little heavenly lightning could not be compared to these heavenly lightning, okay? She was not even afraid of such dense heavenly lightning, yet she still wanted to kill it. She was so stupid. At that moment, the thick, dark clouds in the sky wanted to cry but had no tears. News of Yun Chujio, this weirdo, had spread throughout the Thunder world. A small freak had appeared on a low-level continent like the Qingxian continent. She could not be killed no matter how she was struck. The most infuriating thing was that this fellow's mouth was especially sarcastic, and she could curse you without any obscene words. However, it had no choice. It had to come because it was a mission. At that moment, the dark clouds was thinking in its heart, it'll just strike a couple times. It can't kill her anyway. I'd better let the heavens think of another way to kill her. Yun Chujio was a little unhappy when she saw that the dark clouds was unenthusiastically striking her. Hey! You in the sky! Have you not eaten yet? If you want to strike me, be quick. I'm still waiting for lunch. What are you waiting for? If you don't strike me, I'm going to scold you. The dark clouds in the sky had a mental breakdown. Why are you still threatening me? Besides, could you not scold me anymore? You've clearly scolded me for quite a while just now. The dark clouds in the sky struck a pot and smashed it. With a crackling sound, it struck down the remaining heavenly lightning and flew away as if it was fleeing. In future hacking mission, I will not accept it anymore. I will not do anything. It hurts my pride too much. Chapter 345. He was called Di Beiyu. Master Xianyuan and the others also paid attention to the situation at the back of the mountain. They strictly forbade their disciples from approaching the back of the middle peak. Master Xianyuan felt that he should issue a sect rule to make the back of the middle peak a forbidden area. Yun Chujio saw that the dark clouds had drifted away. She jumped into Di Biming's arms and said, "Prince Charming, I was struck so miserably. Please carry me back." The corner of Di Biming's eyes twitched. The dark clouds in the sky seemed even more miserable. When it floated away, it seemed to be trembling. However, with the soft ball of a person in his arms, Di Biming's heart melted. He immediately carried Yun Chujio and walked down the mountain. Di Biming raised his eyebrows. Someone was coming. Di Biming's eyes flashed. There was no harm in seeing them. Sure enough, they met Master Xianyuan, the 5 peak masters, and a group of elders not far away. At that moment, Yun Chujio was touching Di Biming, and he did not stop her. Yun Chujio's hand was reaching into Di Biming's clothes. Cough. Cough. Master Xianyuan felt that it was a little harsh on his eyes, so he quickly coughed dryly. Yun Chujio was busy taking advantage of him just now and did not notice the arrival of these people. She sheepishly withdrew her hand and screamed, "Ah! I was knocked unconscious." Everyone was speechless. Can you please act more realistically? Aren't you looking down on our intelligence like that? You looked like a pervert just now and suddenly you fainted. Who are you kidding? The crowd could not be bothered to expose her, so they turned their attention to Di Biming. Everyone was shocked. What an outstanding young man. He was dressed in a white brocade robe, and his facial features were as handsome as ever. What was more shocking was this person's aura. His gaze was sharp, the aura of superiority was undoubtedly revealed. Everyone could not help but take a few steps back, and even had a faint desire to submit to him. Everyone was even more shocked to discover that they could not see through this young man's cultivation base. That could only mean that this young man's cultivation base was actually higher than everyone else's. He looked to be less than 20 years old, but he actually possessed such profound spiritual power. It was really unbelievable. Yun Chujio, who was pretending to be unconscious, slowly realized that everyone did not know Di Biming. She jumped down from his arms and acted as if nothing had happened. Fortunately, her lips were no longer so swollen, or else she would really be too ashamed to see anyone. She said with a smile, "Sect Master. Hello everyone. When did you arrive?" The corners of everyone's eyes twitched. You're too good at pretending. Come. Let me introduce everyone. This is the benefactor who saved me last time. His name is Di Bayu. Yun Chujio said with a smile. Di Biming staggered. Good, very good. Just you wait, black thing. So it's Master Di. Thank you for saving my disciple. Please come to the meeting hall and let us be good hosts. Master Xianyuan said politely. Yun Chujio was about to reject on behalf of Di Biming, but he nodded lightly. Master Xianyuan, please. Everyone, please. Yun Chujio was stunned. What did the gigolo mean? Was he not always hiding? Why did things suddenly change this time? Di Biming saw that Yun Chujio was stunned, so he grabbed her little claws and led her forward. Master Xianyuan and the others exchanged glances. Oh my God! They did not expect that little Jio's peach blossoms would bloom so brightly. She had actually hooked such an outstanding husband. This young man had an extraordinary background, and his looks and spiritual power were so outstanding. Little Jio was simply lucky. Chapter 346. He fell in love with me at first sight. When the group of people exited the back mountain, they immediately attracted the attention of many disciples of Spirit Radiance sect. Especially so because of Di Biming's outstanding appearance and imposing manner, which made some female disciples dizzy with infatuation. Oh my God, who is this man? Originally, they thought that senior brother Feng Ming was already charming enough, but compared to this man, he was simply not by a bit. Although senior brother Feng Ming was also very outstanding, this man's temperament was really too mesmerizing. His handsome facial features, sharp eyes, and that noble and natural temperament were too mesmerizing. Some female disciples discovered a big problem. Such an outstanding man was actually holding Yun Chujio's hand. Did this handsome man not have good eyesight? Although Yun Chujio was already much fairer than when she first entered the sect, but her figure was still shriveled, without a single curve. How could it compare to their enchanting figures? Perhaps, this handsome man was Yun Chujio's brother or uncle. Yes, it must be so. Anyone with eyes would not like such a shriveled little girl. Moreover, she was only a good-for-nothing at the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm. These female disciples reluctantly watched the handsome man leave. One by one, they started rushing home to dress up. Then, they blocked the outside of the meeting hall, waiting for the handsome man to come out so that they could curry favor of the handsome man. Master Xianyuan and the others entered the meeting hall. After they took their seats, Yun Chujiu ran behind Di Baiming, looking like a well-behaved little girl. Everyone's eyes twitched. "Little Jiu, can you be a good girl? If you aren't taking advantage of others, then you're acting cute in front of everyone. It's really embarrassing." The reason why Yun Chujiu did this was because she regretted saying his name so quickly. "Pretty boy, don't settle scores yet, okay? Please perform well." "Master D, may I know where you're from?" Master Xianyuan asked with a smile. "His home is on the sea. Otherwise, why would he be called Di Baiming?" Yun Chujiu was afraid that Di Baiming would not lie, so she said with a smile. "On the sea? Could it be the legendary Penglai Immortal Island?" Master Xianyuan asked in surprise. It was said that there was a Penglai Immortal Island on the sea, and the spiritual power of the people on it was very high, close to that of immortals. Could it be that Master D was from there? "Ah, he's not from Penglai Immortal Island. He's from Kunpeng Immortal Island." Yun Chujiu spoke nonsense. Di Baiming's eyes flashed, and he just let her talk nonsense. He was not good at lying, so he just let her deal with it. Kunpeng Immortal Island. Master Xianyuan exchanged a look with everyone. He had never heard of it before, but judging from the strength of the young man, Kunpeng Immortal Island must be the location of a reclusive expert. "Master Xianyuan, my Prince Charming isn't good with words, so I'll speak on his behalf. He came out to travel. Last time, he happened to save me, and then he fell in love with me at first sight. Just now, when he saw the dark clouds in the sky, he came to save me again. I'm really a little embarrassed." The crowd was at a loss of words. They had seen people with thick skin, but someone as thick-skinned as Yun Chujiu was simply unheard of. "You're Prince Charming. Do you know what it means to be reserved like a girl? And he fell in love with her at first sight. What kind of person would fall in love with you at first sight with the way you were last time?" However, everyone saw that young Master D was only listening with a smile on his face and did not even refute her. It seemed that although Yun Chujiu's words were a little exaggerated, this young Master D really took a fancy to little Jiu. Could it be that he saw through Yun Chujiu's heavenly thunder root spirit? Was that why he looked at Yun Chujiu in a different light? Chapter 347, Heartbroken. "Master D, no matter what, you've saved our Spirit Radiance sect disciple. Please stay for a few more days and let us be good hosts." Master Xianyuan said with a smile. Di Baiming nodded. "Thank you. Then I'll have to trouble you. Master D, then I'll send someone to bring you to our sect's guest house later. Then, I'll send a disciple to accompany you around Spirit Radiance sect." Master Xianyuan said very politely. Such an outstanding young man must not be offended. Moreover, he had the support of Kunpeng Immortal Island. Di Baiming shook his head. "Master Xianyuan, there's no need to trouble you. I'll just stay at little Jiu's place for a few days." What was that? What did this Master D mean? What did he mean by staying at little Jiu's place for a few days? Did they misunderstood him? Was Yun Chujiu's place not just a room? The two of them wanted to be in the same room together. When Yun Chujiu heard Di Baiming call her little Jiu for the first time, her heart felt numb and her thick, old skin started to turn pink as she said shyly, "Wasn't he severely injured last time? I was the one who took care of him. Us normal people don't have so many scruples. Besides, he's still young. Don't worry, he'll be sleeping on the floor." Everyone felt that their old hearts could not take it anymore. Young people nowadays were too bold and unrestrained. That was right, they did not think too much about it last time. If something could happen, it would have happened last time too. However, Yun Chujio was right. She was still young, and this young Master D had a graceful bearing. He would not be so mean to bully little Jiu. Sect Master, if you feel guilty, then reward me with some more spirit stones and delicious food. I promise to treat my Prince Charming well. I promise I won't keep it all for myself. Yun Chujio said with a grin. Everyone felt that if she did not add the last sentence, they would believe her even more. With her wild and unruly personality, she would be a ghost if she was not greedy. Master Xianyuan laughed and said, "Little Jiu, don't be mischievous. In that case, I'll let you accompany young Master D for a tour around Spirit Radiance sect. I'll arrange for a banquet. Please be sure to attend when the time comes." D Baiming nodded. "Thank you." When everyone saw that young Master D did not say much, they exchanged some pleasantries before sending him off. Yun Chujio held D Baiming's arm and hopped out of the meeting hall. When she saw the scene outside, she was instantly enraged. Fuck. What was the meaning of this? All of you are so flashy. Where's the beauty contest? Do you think Gigolo is a piece of meat? Can all of you wipe your saliva off? Yun Chujio instantly had a strong sense of crisis. She held D Baiming's arm even tighter, and her entire body leaned on his. "Prince Charming, my feet hurt. Carry me," Yun Chujio said in a sweet voice. The female disciples who were fighting for the Prince Charming were instantly enraged. Prince Charming. From the way she addressed him, he was definitely not an elder brother or uncle. "Yun Chujio, you little girl, you actually touched this handsome man. Your feet hurts. Weren't you jumping around happily just now? Besides, don't you have a chopping board? Why do you want this handsome man to carry you? Shameless." The handsome man definitely wouldn't agree. Definitely not. The handsome man raised his eyebrows, and then he actually picked up the thick-skinned Yun Chujio and flew away on his sword. Everyone felt their hearts break. How was that possible? How could he turn a blind eye to these delicate flowers and take a fancy to that simpleton grass of a person? Chapter 348, Dan Tian was about to explode. Yun Chujio made a face at everyone and stuck out her tongue. Humph. Want to covert Yun Chujio's man? In your dreams. Prince Charming, don't you usually hide your tracks? Why did you suddenly reveal yourself this time? Yun Chujio asked curiously. D Baiming raised his eyebrows. I was feeling happy. But, why did you give me the name Di Bayu? Yun Chujio blinked her eyes at him. I was afraid that you wouldn't think of a suitable pseudonym. Besides, there's nothing wrong with the name I gave you. Isn't it suitable? The corner of D Baiming's eyes twitched. This black thing was really good at making up lies. If he was not involved, he would have believed her. Prince Charming, don't call me Black Thing anymore. Little Jiu is fine. Yun Chujio said with a slightly red face. It was really strange. Why did she not feel embarrassed when others called her Little Jiu? D Baiming raised his eyebrows. I think Black Thing is nice. If you continue being noisy, you can ride the chopping board back yourself. Yun Chujio pursed her lips and hugged him even tighter, afraid that D Baiming would leave her behind. The two of them arrived at the dormitory. Yun Chujio pouted and ignored him as she went into the room angrily. D Baiming raised his eyebrows. He did not go into the room to comfort Yun Chujio. Instead, he washed his hands and placed the dishes on the stone table. Black Thing, it's time for lunch. If you don't want to eat, then forget it. You haven't tried these new dishes this time anyway. Maybe you wouldn't like it either. D Baiming raised his voice and said. As soon as he said that, Yun Chujio rushed out like a small whirlwind. Who said I wouldn't like it? Humph. The corner of D Baiming's mouth curled up. He was proud in his heart. He had a lot of experience dealing with a greedy little thing like her. When Yun Chujio was halfway through eating, she suddenly screamed, "Ah, it hurts so much." Di Biming was shocked. At first, he thought that Yun Chujio was pranking him, but when he saw her appearance, he immediately became anxious. Yun Chujio's forehead was covered with beads of sweat. She was obviously in extreme pain. "Black thing, what's wrong?" Di Biming hugged Yun Chujio and asked anxiously. "My dantian hurts. My dantian feels like it's about to explode. Prince Charming, I feel terrible." Yun Chujio's clothes were soon soaked in sweat. Her body was trembling and her eyes were becoming more and more unfocused. Di Biming was so anxious that the veins on his forehead were popping. He quickly took out a crystal-clear pill from his storage ring and stuffed it into Yun Chujio's mouth. Anfeng and Anin's mouths gaped when they saw the pill. They wanted to say something but stopped. It was a life-saving pill given to him by his honored master. Even if there was only a sliver of life left, one would be saved. They did not expect his honored master to feed it to Miss Chiu just like that. Their honored master had completely fallen for her. After Yun Chujio ate the pill, her condition improved. Di Biming hurriedly said, "Black thing, quickly use your spiritual sense to look inside and see what's going on." Yun Chujio used her spiritual sense to look inside and was instantly enraged. She saw that the inside of her dantian had been turned upside down. The great void mirror and the strange grass were fighting. The mirror kept hitting the strange grass with its body. The strange grass then used 3 leaves to hit the mirror. "All of you, stop. Do you still see me as your landlord? Huh? I'm going to die. Then all of you can stop living. If you continue to torment me, I'll cut my abdomen right now. I'll give up my dantian." Chapter 349, Yun Chujio's painting. The strange grass used a leaf to hold its waist, looking indignant. The mirror trembled a few times and was clearly very angry. Furry said weakly in her spiritual sense, "Master, they started fighting because they were snatching those purple lightning bolts. I really couldn't stop them." Yun Chujio said hatefully, "Strange grass and small mirror, you all better behave. In the future, if there are any more lightning bolts, well, split them in half. Otherwise, we can all die and not think of anything." The strange grass and the great void mirror trembled slightly. It probably meant that they agreed. Only then did Yun Chujio withdraw from her spiritual sense. "Prince Charming, it's much better now. It's that damned grass and that broken mirror that are fighting." Yun Chujio leaned in Di Biming's arms and said weakly. Di Biming carried Yun Chujio to the bed in the house. He frowned. "If this goes on, there will be problems sooner or later. I've already sent a voice transmission talisman to my master, but he might be in secluded cultivation and may not reply to me. He's a mighty figure in the Tianyuan continent. He'll definitely know what to do." Yun Chujio nodded. "Okay, Prince Charming, I believe you. What kind of pill did you feed me just now?" "The Primordial Chaos Vitality pill. It's a level 15 pill. My master gave it to me." Di Biming said calmly. "Level 15. Isn't that very precious then? Don't tell me you only had 1 pill." Yun Chujio asked in surprise. "No wonder it worked immediately after she ate it." Di Biming nodded. "There's indeed only 1 pill. No matter how precious it is, it's not as important as your life." Yun Chujio had seen some scenes in the past where the female lead was moved to tears by the male lead's words. She felt that it was too fake. However, why did the gigolo say that sentence? Why did she feel like crying? Yun Chujio's tears started to flow down, sob. "My idol, you're really too good to me. I won't secretly scold you anymore. I won't take the painting of you to sell for money anymore. Di Biming was still sad when he saw Yun Chuzhou crying. When he heard the last sentence, he asked, "Where's the painting?" Yun Chuzhou covered her mouth. Indeed, the IQ of a woman in love was 0. Why did I tell him about this? Yun Chuzhou covered her stomach. Ouch, it hurts again. Ouch, it hurts. It would be weird for Di Biming to believe her. He smiled coldly. "Black thing, are you going to take it out or not?" Yun Chuzhou saw that Di Biming's eyebrows were raised. She had no choice but to take out the painting from her storage ring slowly. "There's only this one. There's really no more." Di Biming did not comment. He snatched the painting and opened it. His face immediately turned red. He saw that the painting was indeed him. It was just him lying on the floor. Most importantly, Di Biming was both embarrassed and angry. "Black thing. Why, you have no sense of shame. What did you say just now? You were going to sell this painting for money?" Yun Chuzhou laughed dryly. "My Prince Charming, don't be angry. I was just saying it for fun. How could I bear to let others see this? If others dare to peek at your body, I'll dig out her eyes. Furthermore, my idol, this drawing is meant to relieve the pain of lovesickness. When I think of you, I'll take it out and take a look. Suddenly, my waist is no longer sore and my legs no longer hurt. I can even walk with energy." Yun Chuzhou saw that Di Biming was still frowning. She gritted her teeth and said, "Idol, if your heart isn't in equilibrium, I'll draw one of me for you." Chapter 350, Struck by Lightning Once Again. Nonsense. How can a girl's body be seen by others? In the future, you're not allowed to draw such immoral paintings anymore. Di Biming shouted angrily. Yun Chuzhou shrunk her neck. "Yes, I know. I'll never draw again." "Humph. Anyway, I still have a stack of them in my storage ring. All kinds of postures. Gigolo, you'll die of anger if you argue with me." Di Biming thought that Yun Chuzhou had realized her mistake and softened his tone. "You didn't finish your meal. Do you want to go out for lunch or rest for a while?" Yun Chuzhou immediately jumped down from the bed. "I'm fine now. Let's go. Let's continue eating." An Feng and an Yin saw Yun Chuzhou jumping down and their eyeballs almost fell out. She was about to die just now. Why is she jumping up and down now? What a monster. What a pity for our revered one's primordial chaos vitality pill. Yun Chuzhou had just eaten a few mouthfuls of food when a dark cloud floated over from the sky. Yun Chuzhou sighed, "I can't finish this meal. Prince Charming, perhaps it's because I ate the primordial chaos vitality pill. I'm going to break through. I have to hurry to the back mountain or else this courtyard will be ruined." How could Di Biming be at ease? He quickly carried Yun Chuzhou and flew toward the back mountain. The two of them had just arrived at the back mountain when the sky darkened. From the looks of it, the sky was much bigger than the dark clouds from before. The dark cloud from before was just a formality. It seemed that this was for real. Yun Chuzhou counted with her fingers. I'm now at the 8th level of spirit enhancement. From the looks of it, I might directly break through to the spirit cultivator realm. I reckon that this damn heavens will not let me off easily. Prince Charming, you must not block the lightning for me this time. I now have a great void mirror in my dantian which also absorbs lightning. It definitely won't be a problem. You just stay by the side and watch." Di Biming nodded, but in his heart he planned to make a move if the black thing could not withstand it. Master Xianyuan and the others realized that the back of the mountain was once again shrouded in dark clouds. Moreover, it looked even more frightening than the one in the morning. They hurriedly ordered the disciples of the sect to strictly forbid anyone from approaching the back of Middle Peak. Then, they stretched their necks and paid full attention to the situation. There was lightning strikes this morning already. Why is it happening again? What did little Jiu do to provoke the heavens? Elder Chu asked in puzzlement. Could it be that she's going to break through? Maybe after she was done in the morning, the lightning spiritual power in Yun Chujia's body has accumulated to a certain level, so she is going to break through. Elder Shao guessed. Everyone thought that it made sense. After Yun Chujio was struck by lightning last time, she went from not having any spiritual power to the 4th level of spirit enhancement. Who knew how many levels she would rise this time? Yun Chujio looked at the dark clouds above her head and found it somewhat familiar. Damn it, wasn't this the piece of dark cloud that struck me and the gigolo naked last time? Fuck. It's you again. Last time, you really struck me hard. This time, I'm not the same as before. I've changed my weapon. Strike me. Little Loach. Since Yun Chujio had a great void mirror in her dantian, she had more confidence. Even though sometimes these two were quite deceptive, sometimes they were quite useful. For example, at that moment, the dark clouds in the sky thought that it had succeeded last time, but it did not expect this little scourge to suddenly become more powerful and more lively. In the end, it could only return empty-handed. Boom! 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 This time, the dark clouds had learned a lesson and directly struck a powerful heavenly thunder as thick as a wrist at Yun Chujio. No matter what, we must get rid of this scourge this time. Defend the dignity of our lightning tribulation. Chapter 351, Thin, Blue Shiitake Mushroom. The huge heavenly lightning struck ferociously at Yun Chujio. Yun Chujio sat cross-legged on the ground, completely unconcerned. She used her spiritual sense to speak to the strange grass and the great void mirror in her dantian. Hey! Weren't the two of you fighting over lightning just now? Now's your chance. Swallow it with all your might. Whoever absorbs less will be finished. The strange grass proudly shook its leaves, and the mirror did not want to be outdone either. It scrambled to swallow the incoming lightning. After the last lightning strike, Yun Chujio's veins had been expanded to twice their original size, and they were very strong. Therefore, even if the lightning was very violent, it did not have any effect on her. At first, Yun Chujio was still a little worried, but later, she realized that the power of lightning that surged in was not enough for the two of them, so she began acting arrogantly. Hey! Little weakling in the sky, can you show me some strength? This is too weak. Are you all so unmotivated when it comes to the lightning tribulations? Why are you getting worse each time? Little weakling, hurry up and strike. I haven't even finished my lunch yet and you've interrupted me. You're so rude. Oh right, are you a male or female cloud? I heard that it's not as tiring when you have a male and female team. Why don't you guys form a team next time? You can strike to your heart's content. You're such a weak lightning bolt. It's like scratching an itch. It's really not satisfying. The dark clouds in the sky began to emit white smoke. Strike. Strike. Kill this scourge. It was really too hateful. The tribulation lightning that was as thick as a wrist continuously struck down. Yun Chujio had two little ancestors in her dantian. It was simply too easy, was it not? However, the nearby trees and land were affected. Soon, a deep pit was formed where Yun Chujio was. Di Baiming could hear Yun Chujio mumbling non-stop at the bottom of the pit, "Tisk, damn lightning. Why did it strike so hard? It's a pity that this spirit potato is so hot. This one is alright. It's charred on the outside but tender on the inside. Not bad. Not bad. Prince Charming, do you want to eat the roasted potatoes? Using heavenly lightning to strike it is better than using a stove to roast it. I don't want any." The corner of Di Baiming's eyes twitched. Even at a time like this, you can still think of eating. Humph. It's okay if you don't want to eat it. I'll eat it myself. It's charred on the outside but tender on the inside. It's really not bad. I didn't expect for the heavenly lightning strikes to be so weak, but the potatoes turned out not bad. I might as well become a chef in the future. Yun Chujio grumbled as she ate. The dark clouds in the sky was about to go crazy from anger. The lightning. The lightning. The lightning. Not the chef who roasts potatoes for you. You're fucking infuriating me to death. In a fit of anger, the dark clouds simply strike the spiritual potato in Yun Chujio's hand. He'll strike this thing into charcoal and have you eat that. Yun Chujio had just peeled a roasted spiritual potato and was about to eat it when it was turned into ashes by the lightning. This fellow was immediately enraged. Fuck. This is too much. It's fine if you strike me. It's shameful to waste food. Be careful not to waste food lest you make a little dark cloud with defects. The dark cloud was so angry. Strike. Strike. It had to strike the wicked Yun Chujio to death that day. Unfortunately, no matter how it hacked, Yun Chujio was still alive and kicking in the pit. Moreover, she was constantly showing off and provoking people. Yes, angry cloud. The dark cloud's heart was broken. Who can tell me why this Yun Chujio had become even more abnormal after not seeing her for a few days? Oh, the dark cloud was a blue, thin shiitake mushroom. 1. Chapter 352, Dark Clouds with White Smoke. After the dark cloud struck randomly, it floated away with white smoke. The disciples of Spirit Radiance sect pointed at the dark cloud in the sky and said, "Ah, this is interesting. Why is that lump of dark cloud giving off white smoke? I thought it was going to rain, but that didn't happen, right? Why is there so much thunder behind Middle Peak today? On top of that, they're all purple heavenly thunder. Who knows? It's not just today. Do you remember the last time? It was even more powerful than this time. The thunderstorm lasted for a full 16 hours. It was so scary. Is there treasure at the back of the mountain? Forget it. If there was, how could the sect leader not dig it out? Then why is there always purple lightning? It's really strange. Who knows? Maybe God doesn't like that hill." Yun Chujio waited for the dark clouds to drift away before shouting at Di Biming, "Prince Charming, I want to change my clothes. You stand guard and don't let those old hooligans come over." Di Biming's mouth twitched and he nodded lightly. Yun Chujio took off her tattered clothes and changed into a new set of sect uniform. Then, she flew up on the chopping board. Di Biming saw Yun Chujio's appearance and could not help but smile. The hair that had grown out with great difficulty was hacked off again. Her face was also covered in ashes. Yun Chujio touched her head and said self-deprecatingly, "This hair of mine is really in line with a poem. The wild fire cannot be burnt out, but the spring breeze can make it grow again." Di Biming raised his eyebrows. "Didn't I give you a hair growth pill? Why aren't you using it?" "I was afraid of being exposed in the past, but am not anymore. Now, we can be considered to have gone from sneaking around to being above board." Hee hee. "Prince Charming, can you give me another set of clothes? My sect uniform cannot withstand being hacked. Fortunately, I have you to keep watch. Otherwise, everyone would have seen me. It's best if you give me a lightning-proof hat." Yun Chujio clung to Di Biming's arm. Di Biming frowned. Black thing is right. If I'm not around when she breaks through next time, won't she be seen by others? I have to find a good defensive robe for her. It would be best if it's an immortal item. Yun Chujio saw that Di Biming was silent and thought that he did not agree, so she began to act shamelessly. "Prince Charming, are you reluctant to it to me?" "Humph. If you don't give it to me, they'll strip you of this robe." As Yun Chuzhou spoke, she began to strip Di Biming of his clothes. He was still thinking where he could get Yun Chuzhou an immortal item robe, so he did not stop her immediately. Cough. Cough. Little Jiu. Stop. When Master Shenyuan and the others rushed over, they saw Yun Chuzhou desperately stripping young Master Di's clothes. It was simply unsightly. Master Xuanyuan's old face turned red. This Yun Chuzhou is too unrestrained. Could it be that Master Di likes this behavior? Only then did Di Biming realize that his clothes had been torn into a mess by Yun Chuzhou. He hurriedly tidied his clothes and glared at Yun Chuzhou. Then, he nodded at Master Shenyuan as a form of greeting. Yun Chuzhou was not the slightest bit embarrassed that she had been caught. She smiled and said, "Master Shenyuan, my idol said that he would give me a robe. I usually don't ask others for things that I can do myself, so I wanted to just take it." Master Shenyuan felt that he had nowhere to put his face. It was too embarrassing. You can do it yourself without asking others for help. Why do I get a feeling that you were molesting a good man? Chapter 353, Breakthrough. Master Shenyuan coughed dryly. Stop fooling around. Why did you summon the heavenly lightning twice in a day? And this time, the power seems to be even stronger than the previous one. Could it be that you've broken through again? Yun Chuzhou sighed, it didn't meet my expectations. I'm still too weak. The crowd could not see Yun Chuzhou's true spiritual power and thought that she had failed to break through, so they comforted her, "Little Jiu, this is very normal. Most disciples don't succeed every time they break through. Just work harder next time. Yeah, cultivation is not something that can be achieved overnight. Take your time. How long has it been since you broke through to the 4th level of the spirit enhancement realm last time? Cultivation can be a dangerous thing. Don't be impatient." Yun Chuzhou touched her nose. Cough cough. Who said that I failed to break through? I only rose 2 levels, so I'm a little disappointed. I thought that I could break through to the 8th level of spirit enhancement realm this time. But in the end, I only reached the 6th level of spirit enhancement realm. Everyone was speechless. Geniuses and us ordinary people are indeed two different kinds of people. You fucking leveled up 2 levels all of a sudden, and you're still sighing. Are you deliberately trying to anger us? Ordinary disciples would be ecstatic even when they level up once, okay? Di Biming glanced at Yun Chuzhou from the side. Black Thing really didn't even blink when she lied. The 6th level. She was already at level 8 spirit enhancement before she leveled up. Not leveling up and instead regressing was unheard of. Master Shenyuan and the others were already speechless. They had just said a lot of comforting words. What else could they say now? Could it be that what we said just now was all nonsense and you pretended not to hear it? Yun Chuzhou blinked her eyes and decided to change the topic, so she said, "Master Shenyuan, I want change my residence for the time being. It's convenient to be struck by lightning in the future, so as to avoid hurting others." Master Shenyuan nodded. That's good too. Anyway, the amount of spiritual essence won't hinder your cultivation. They'll order the back of the middle peak to be a forbidden area so that you can go, practice. Master Shenyuan originally wanted to say that it would be more convenient for her to be struck by lightning, but he changed his words after thinking about it. Master Shenyuan, if there's nothing else, my Prince Charming and I will go back. I'm so dirty right now. I need to go back and take a hot bath. Yun Chuzhou pointed at her dirty little face and said. Master Shenyuan nodded. After Di Biming nodded at everyone, he was dragged away by Yun Chuzhou. Master Shenyuan and the others stood where they were and watched the two leave. Then, they heard Yun Chuzhou say, "Prince Charming, let's take a bath together later." Shut up. Nonsense. Tisk, Prince Charming, are you shy? It's not like we haven't taken a bath before. Everyone was in a mess. Oh my God! Why did our Spirit Radiance sect have a female pervert? Oh, Master Linghua, do you know what kind of disciple you have? If other sects knew that we have such a pervert, little ancestor Yun, we would have nowhere to put our old faces. Cough cough. Everyone, Yun Chujio is still young and doesn't have a mother to teach her. It's inevitable that her personality will be a little off. She's naive and romantic. What she says may not be what we think it is. Master Shenyuan coughed dryly twice. He felt that he might really have catch a cold since he coughed several times in such a short period of time. The corners of everyone's eyes twitched violently. We believe our eyes. Yun Chujio had either stripped or touched that young Master D, and now she even came out said they wanted to bathe together. If she isn't a pervert, then what is she? Chapter 354, Yun Chujio was a little beauty. Yun Chujio was not aware of the resentment of the group of old people behind her as she dragged Di Biming back to the dormitory. Yun Chujio took out a large bathtub from her storage ring and tested the temperature of the water with her hands. She said with satisfaction, "It's so convenient to have a storage ring. Everything can be stored in it." Di Biming raised his eyebrows. "You have bath water in your storage ring?" "Yes. Not only do I have hot bath water, I also have blankets, pillows, towels, pots and pans, seasonings, and everything you could ever think of. Even if I were to be thrown into a place where there's nothing, it would be enough for me to live for 2 to 3 years. Yun Chujia's favorite activity was to gather the wool, so the storage ring was filled with all sorts of things. Di Biming's eyes twitched slightly. "Then you can take your time to wash up. I'll go out and warn you if needed. Don't we have an phone and an een? Why don't you wash up with me?" Yun Chujio blinked her starry eyes as she looked at Di Biming. She felt that teasing the gigolo was a lot of fun. Di Biming's ears turned red as expected. He shouted angrily, "Black thing, I won't forgive you if you continue to spout nonsense." After saying that, Di Biming quickly walked out. No matter how one looked at it, he looked like he was running away in a panic. Yun Chujio let out a laugh that sounded like the rings of silver bells. She took off her clothes and started bathing happily. Ah, the gigolo is really innocent. Teasing the gigolo is the most enjoyable activity in life. Di Biming walked out of the house and took a deep breath before he suppressed the restlessness in his heart. This black thing is really. Sigh, when will she grow up? Di Biming inexplicably thought of Yun Chujio's words, "When the time comes, I will suffocate you with my chest." The feeling of his face blushing and his heart beating surfaced once again. When Yun Chujio jumped out of the shower, she saw Di Biming standing at the door with a flushed face. "Hey! Prince Charming, what are you daydreaming about?" Yun Chujio stretched out her palm and waved it in front of Di Biming's eyes. Di Biming was shocked and said in a panic, "Nothing." "You can wash." Di Biming looked at the little person in front of him and was stunned. Although the little person in front of him did not have any hair, her skin was as white as jade, so tender that it seemed like water could be squeezed out. Her eyelashes were long and thick, and her eyes were bright and lively. Her pink lips were slightly pouting as she looked at him in confusion. Di Biming felt his heart beat violently, and his throat seemed to have closed up. His mind was blank and he could not say anything. Yun Chujio saw that Di Biming looked like a fool, and she could not help but giggle. "Prince Charming, what's wrong with you? Let's go and continue having lunch." "Ah, it should be considered dinner already. After all that, I'm even hungrier." Di Biming was dragged to the side of the stone table by Yun Chujio and finally regained his senses. A strong sense of danger filled his heart. The black thing is becoming more and more beautiful. It's too dangerous. If I'm not by her side, she would definitely attract the covetous eyes of many men. It seems that what I did previously was right. I must let others know that the black thing is mine. After dinner, Yun Chujio leaned back on the recliner and crossed her legs. She took out the hair growth pill and mirror from her storage ring. Then, she jumped down from the chair. Damn! How did I become so good-looking? Ha ha ha, as expected, a mask covers 100 ugliness. This little face, these big eyes, this perky little nose bridge, and these pink little lips. Ah, I'm going to be charmed to death by myself. I accidentally became Qing Xian continent's #1 beauty. I'm really sorry. Chapter 355, Di Baiming's two-pronged attack. Di Baiming looked at Yun Chujio, who kept showing off, and the corner of his eyes twitched a little. Perhaps his worries just now were unnecessary. Only he could take in that random black thing. Yun Chujio admired herself for a long time and felt a little unsatisfied. She asked, "Enfong, do you think I'm beautiful?" Enfong looked at her and said coldly, "Miss Jio is very beautiful." Yun Chujio nodded in satisfaction and looked at An who had a poker face. An, do you think I'm beautiful? Yes. An's answer was as simple as usual. Yun Chujio did not feel satisfied, so she said, "Little flame, furry, come out. Do you think I'm beautiful?" The rolling pin trembled. "Master, you've really become beautiful." After Yun Chujio was struck by the lightning just now, Furry became even more obsequious. "Master, you're too beautiful." What are the sayings? The fish sinks, and goose alights. 1. Outshining the moon and shaming flowers. 2. A peerless beauty capable of causing the downfall of a city. They're all not enough to describe your beauty. Master, your beauty has made the sun and moon lose their luster. Master, your beauty has caused the stars in the sky to lose their luster. Master, you're undoubtedly the #1 beauty. Di Baiming and the other two were dumbfounded. Fuck. This ball of yarn was too good at wheedling. The compliments was too smooth. What a master, and what a tool. It was simply comparable to its master. Yun Chujio was so dizzy from the Fei's words that she could hardly close her mouth. Furry, who would have thought you'd have such good points? You're so honest. Your honesty is really great. Here. These are for you and Little Flame. Yun Chujio took out 2 roast chickens from her storage ring and gave them to the rolling pin and yarn ball. Yun Chujio winked at Di Baiming and asked sweetly, "My Prince Charming, am I beautiful?" Di Baiming had goosebumps all over his body. "Speak properly. What have you become?" Yun Chujio secretly cursed him for being a big blockhead who did not get a hint from her flirtatious eyes. She pouted and asked again, "Am I beautiful?" "A little better than black bean sprouts," Di Baiming said lightly. Yun Chujio immediately exploded, "Do you have eyes? Do you see how beautiful I am? You're comparing me to black bean sprouts?" Di Baiming's face darkened. "Black thing, are you trying to rebel?" Yun Chujio's mouth opened and closed. She gritted her teeth and then smiled obsequiously. "Prince Charming, I'm praising you. The black bean sprouts is such a beautiful metaphor. From now on, you'll be a bean sprout fairy. Damn you Tsundra. You just healed a couple days ago and now you're crazy again. Just you wait, gigolo. Sooner or later, it'll make you pay me back with interest." Di Baiming hummed lightly. He felt that it was necessary to manage the black thing. Recently, he had been too indulgent with her. If I wasn't by her side, wouldn't she turn the world upside down? Who knows how many idiots she would attract? Di Baiming felt that his idea was not bad. He wanted to use both methods. On one hand, he wanted to let the people of Spirit Radiance sect know that Black Thing was his person so that they would not have any ideas about her. On the other hand, he wanted to re-establish his authority in front of her so that she would not get carried away and attract bees and butterflies. That was right. That was what he was going to do. Thus, that night, no matter how coquettishly Yun Chujio acted, Di Biming was determined not to sing the lullaby. He even reprimanded her with a straight face, "Black thing, don't push your luck. If you continue to cause trouble, I won't forgive you. In the future, you'll have to buy all your food with your own money." Yun Chujio cursed the gigolo in her heart a few hundred times before falling asleep. Chapter 356, Manners over Lust. The next day, Yun Chujio and Di Biming had just finished their breakfast when Yun Chuzi and the others arrived. Yun Chuzi and the others were busy cleaning up their new residence the day before and only heard news about Yun Chujio at night. That she had gotten involved with a handsome man, and something about how all the good cabbages had been eaten by pigs. 1. They even encountered conflict with a few female disciples who were gossiping. At that time, they wanted to find Yun Chujio and ask her about it. In the end, they saw that it was already late, and they believed that little Jio would not act rashly. That was why they decided to go over and clarify in the morning. "Good morning, brothers and sisters." Yun Chujio hopped to the entrance and welcomed the 6 people into the courtyard. Yun Chuzi and the others were shocked and they saw Yun Chujio. How did little Jio suddenly become so beautiful? "Little Jio, you. How did you become beautiful?" Yun Chuki asked in surprise. Yun Chujio immediately began to show off. "Have I? Natural beauty is hard to give up. Gold will shine eventually. I've always been very low-key to hide my beauty, but I didn't expect you to find out." The corners of Yun Chuzi and the others' eyes twitched, and then they saw Di Biming standing in the middle of the courtyard. They finally understood why those female disciples were so crazy to slander little Jio. Such an outstanding man indeed had the ability to make other men feel inferior and make women go crazy for him. However, when the woman who went crazy for him was her sister, it did not feel good at all. Even though she was intimidated by Di Biming's aura, Yun Chuzi still asked Yun Chujio seriously, "Who is he? Why is he in your courtyard so early in the morning?" Yun Chujio rolled her eyes and said with a smile, "He is the master I mentioned. However, we fell in love at first sight. Now. He's mine. What the hell?" Yun Chuzi and the others were dumbfounded. "Master? Fell in love at first sight? He's yours?" Yun Chu immediately exploded, "Little Jio, what did you say? Have you already done it?" Seeing that the misunderstanding was getting deeper, Yun Chujio quickly said, "No. No. We've always practiced manners over lust. I'm still young. How can I do that kind of thing?" This lady silently added in her heart, "We've only held each other's hands, hugged each other's waists, and kissed each other on the lips. Little Jio, come out. We have something to tell you." Yun Chu dragged Yun Chujio out of the courtyard, and Yun Chuzi and the others surrounded her. "Little Jio, you're still young. Marriage is no child's play. Don't be willful." Yun Chu said seriously. "Don't worry. Only I can cheat others. No one can cheat me. Moreover, you have to act early. You've seen that those women are like wolves and tigers. If I don't watch them closely, my Prince Charming will definitely be eaten by them." Yun Chujio said with a smile. Yun Chu and the others tried to persuade her for a while. Seeing that Yun Chujio was determined to be with that young Master Di, they had no choice but to give up trying to persuade her. Little Jio's idea was pretty good. In any case, young Master Di seemed to be more reliable than that Bai Moyu, so they could only let her be. "Little Jio, if you really like that young Master Di, we won't stop you. However, you're still young now, so you mustn't do that kind of thing. Firstly, it's not good for your body. Secondly, since ancient times, to become someone's wife is to become a concubine. You mustn't be willful about it." Yun Chu said seriously. Yun Chujio's heart warmed. Only those who truly cared about me would think so extensively. Fifth sister, don't worry. I know what to do. I'm still young. The most important thing now is to improve my spiritual power. As for the love between a man and a woman, just let it be. Little Jiu, I heard that young Master D is staying at your place tonight. Yun Chuzi asked with a frown. Yun Chujiu blinked and concocted a lie. Yes, he's staying at my place because he wants to teach me some cultivation methods. You guys know that I have Thunder Spirit Root and that my cultivation method is different from yours. Did you guys see the heavenly thunder yesterday? They were all here to strike me. If it wasn't for my Prince Charming protecting me, I would have long choked on my farts. Chapter 357, Today is a good day. Yun Chuzi and the others were stunned by Yun Chujia's words. They believed her having recalled the 2 terrifying lightning strikes from the day before. Brothers and sisters, let's go. I'll introduce him to you. In the future, he might be your brother-in-law. Yun Chujiu said with a smile. Yun Chuzi and the others were speechless when they saw Yun Chujia's eager attitude. Little Jiu, can you be a little more reserved, like a proper girl? Prince Charming, this is my 4th brother, 5th sister, 6th brother, 7th sister, 8th brother, and Miss Qing Si. This is my Prince Charming, D Bei. Just as Yun Chujiu was hesitating, deciding whether to give them his real name or fake name, D Beiming nodded slightly at the crowd. D Beiming. Greetings. Yun Chujiu saw that D Beiming not only took the initiative to introduce himself, but was also humble and polite. He immediately felt that he was very respectful toward them. There was a saying that goes, a man who respects your family is a man who truly likes you. Indeed. Although the Prince Charming was arrogant, he was still quite reliable at critical moments. D Beiming greeted them and took out spirit fruits and pastries from his storage ring and placed them on the stone table. He motioned for everyone to sit and talk. Although Yun Chuzi and the others were a little reserved, in order to test their future brother-in-law's character, they sat down anyway. Please eat. These pastries and fruits are really delicious. I like them the most. Yun Chujiu stuffed the pastries and spirit fruits into everyone's hands and then picked up a piece for herself. D Beiming picked up the teapot and helped everyone fill up the teacups. Then, he handed a cup of tea to Yun Chujiu. I've tested it. It's not too hot. Drink it. Yun Chujiu was feeling a little thirsty, so she took the teacup and drank it all in a few gulps. Then, she started chatting with Yun Chuzi and the others. Yun Chuzi and the others saw that not only was D Beiming's spiritual power superb, he was also handsome. On top of that, it was rare for a person to be so considerate to little Jiu. No wonder little Jiu was moved. He was indeed a good candidate for a husband. After chatting for a while, Yun Chuzi and the others took their leave. Although D Beiming tried his best to restrain his aura, the noble air of a superior still made Yun Chuzi and the others uncomfortable. Oh right, 4th brother, your spiritual power is almost consolidated. You can continue to take the spirit gathering pill. Yun Chuzi and the others took their leave after agreeing. My Prince Charming, you did well. Yun Chujiu said with a cheeky smile. D Beiming hummed lightly. He had his own plans. Black Thing values her family the most. Now that I've given them an impression, they can help me keep an eye on her to prevent her from attracting bees and butterflies. A voice transmission talisman in D Beiming's storage ring started vibrating. D Beiming used his spiritual sense to listen to it. Black Thing, you've just broken through and I don't think the heavenly lightning will come again for a short period of time. I'll leave for some time. Don't mess around, or I will not forgive you. Especially with that idiot Shui Wuji. Don't bother with him. Yun Chujiu rolled her eyes and pretended to be reluctant that he was leaving. Do you have to leave? If you leave, who will sing me a lullaby at night? Who will pat me to sleep? An Feng and an Een almost fell to the ground in fright when they heard Yun Chujia's words. What? Our revered one sings lullabies. Pats Miss Jiu to sleep. Oh my god, isn't that scene too strange? Di Biming glared at Yun Chujio. Don't spout nonsense. Anyway, cultivate well and don't get involved with men. Don't cause trouble. I'm leaving. Yun Chujio waved her handkerchief and sent Di Biming away. Then, she took out a reclining chair and lay on it to bask in the sun. She hummed happily, "Today is a good day. I can do whatever I want, master." "What level are you at now?" the rolling pin asked curiously. She said that she was at the 6th level of refining. What a lie. She was already on the 8th level before she leveled up. Chapter 358, Mental Damage Fee. Yun Chujio said faintly, "Spirit enhancement. You're underestimating your master. Your master is already at the 2nd level of the Spirit Cultivator realm. Master, you've advanced 3 levels all of a sudden." The rolling pin was dumbfounded. Was it not said that humans had a huge bottleneck from the 9th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm to the 1st level of the Spirit Cultivator realm? Why did his master jump from the 8th level of the Spirit Enhancement realm to the 2nd level of the Spirit Cultivator realm all of a sudden? This did not follow the rules. It probably has something to do with the Primordial Chaos Vitality pill that the Gigolo gave me. If I wasn't afraid that my foundation wouldn't be stable if I rose too much, I think I would have broke through to the 4th level of Spirit Cultivator realm. Yun Chujio said lightly. The rolling pin finally understood why Patriarch Linghua wanted to take Yun Chujio as his disciple. This master of his was really amazing. She was an absolute monster. Just as Yun Chujio was feeling a little sleepy, the sound of footsteps came from outside the courtyard. "Excuse me, is junior sister Yun here?" A delicate voice asked. Yun Chujio's courtyard had a protective array activated, so the people outside could not see what was happening inside, but she could see what was happening outside clearly. Are these people here for the beauty contest? She saw dozens of female disciples standing outside the courtyard, all dressed beautifully. Yun Chujio's eyes darkened. She did not have any guests in her courtyard for a year. These people must be here for the gigolo. Since that was the case, do not blame her for being ruthless. Yun Chujio did not turn off the protective array. Instead, she walked out of the courtyard and said with a smile, "Senior sisters, is there anything you need from me?" Those female disciples initially thought that young Master D would come out when they saw that the door was open. Each of them were standing in their best posture. When they saw that only Yun Chujio came out alone, they could not help but feel a little discouraged. Moreover, why was Yun Chujio much more beautiful than before? Young Master D must have given her some beautifying medicinal pills. She was really lucky. Yun Chujio, turn off the protective array. We want to see young Master D. A woman wearing the uniform of an inner disciple said with a stiff tone. Yun Chujio curled her lips. How should I address you, senior sister? Su Yen, the inner disciple of West Peak. Yun Chujio, why haven't you gotten rid of the protective array? Is this how you treat your guests? Su Yen said arrogantly. Young Master D isn't feeling well and is resting. He can't receive guests now. Yun Chujio sighed and said. What? Young Master D is sick. He was fine yesterday. Why is he sick today? Did you do something? Yun Chujio, did you make young Master D sick? Yun Chujio, let me in quickly. I have pills with me. Yes. I also have nourishing herbs. Let me in. Sigh, I didn't expect that all the senior sisters would be so concerned about young Master D. I'm very touched. Please wait a moment. I'll go in and ask for young Master D's opinion. Yun Chujio entered the courtyard with a whoosh. After a while, Yun Chujio came out. Senior sisters, young Master D said that he appreciates everyone's kindness. He really can't see any guests today. If you feel bad for him, you can leave the gifts here. Yun Chujio said with a smile. After hearing Yun Chujio's words, those girls immediately stuffed things into Yun Chujio's arms. This ginseng is very nourishing. Help me pass it to young Master D. This is a body-strengthening pill. After eating it, it can strengthen the body. You must help me pass it to young Master D. These kumquat fruits can clear and reduce bodily heat. Boil it with rock sugar and drink it. It's very nourishing. If young Master D finds it troublesome to do so, you can look for me to help you boil it. There were more and more things piling up. Yun Chujio could not carry them anymore. She simply asked them to put the things on the ground and then sent them away. Yun Chujio put all the things into her storage ring and then entered the courtyard happily. Humph! How dare you covet my Prince Charming? I'll take these things as compensation for the mental damage caused by stress. Just as Yun Chujio was taking inventory of the spoils of war, Master Xuanyuan's voice rang out from her identity jade token. Yun Chujio, come to the drawing room immediately. 1. Chapter 359, has nothing to do with me. Yun Chujio was very puzzled. Why was Master Xianyuan looking for her? Could it be that he wanted to reward her? Yun Chujio immediately rode on the chopping board and went to the drawing room. Yun Chujio had just entered the drawing room when she felt several malicious gazes looking at her. She glanced at them and realized that they were all old acquaintances. Sitting on the guest seat was the sect master of Heavenly Gates sect, Du Gai. Next to him sat a few elders from their sect. One of the elders with a hooked nose glared at Yun Chujio with bloodshot eyes. He looked as if he wanted to eat her up. Behind these elders stood a few disciples from Heavenly Gates sect. Su Yenran was also among them. She had a cold smile on her face. Yun Chujio first bowed to Master Xianyuan before greeting the people of the Heavenly Gates sect with a smile. Sect leader Du. Hello, old friends of the Heavenly Gates sect. I'm so happy to see you all. I've almost had enough showing off the 2 million spirit stones from before. Are you here to give me spirit stones again? The people of the Heavenly Gates sect were so angry that their noses were almost crooked. This Yun Chujio really brought up the wrong topic. She was really detestable. Yun Chujio, pay for my grandson's life. I'm going to kill you. Elder Zhang slammed the table and was actually about to make a move. Master Xianyuan snorted in displeasure. Master Du, your Heavenly Gates sect is really looking down on Spirit Radiance sect. If you're going to do this, please leave our sect. Our sect doesn't welcome you. Du Gai stopped Elder Zhang. Elder Zhang, the right and wrong will be determined. Don't act rashly. Master Xianyuan, I sent Zhang Xiong and the other 3 to be killed by Yun Chujio and the others. We're here to seek justice. Master Xianyuan sneered. Yun Chujio, is what Master Du said the truth? Yun Chujio was stunned at first, then she stretched her neck and began to howl. Oh my God, I've been wronged. It's a great injustice. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched. He pretended to be surprised and said, don't worry, I won't wrong you. Just tell me the truth. Yun Chujio wiped her tears with her sleeve and then said with grief and indignation, for the sake of the peace between the two sects, I didn't intend to say such a dirty thing, but since the Heavenly Gates sect came to find me, I can only tell you the truth. After I was transported to the ancient dimension, I first arrived at a desert. With great difficulty, I finally left the desert and arrived at a valley. Suddenly, I saw my 5th sister, 7th sister, and senior sister Su being escorted forward by 5 male disciples of the Heavenly Gates sect. As they walked, they even said some unsightly words. They said that the girls of Spirit Radiance sect are just like water spirits. It's a waste not to play with them. They said that the people of Spirit Radiance sect are all good-for-nothings. They actually didn't dare to say anything when they saw us taking away these 3 girls. When Spirit Radiance sect's elders heard those words, they were instantly enraged. The Heavenly Gate sect was really going too far. Such scum deserved to die. Even if it was really Yun Chujio who killed them, they would still try their best to hold on until the end. Yun Chujio stole a glance at everyone's reactions and then continued, although I, Yun Chujio, am small and weak, I can't just stand by and watch them die. I followed them from afar. Later, the 5 people from Heavenly Gate sect discovered an Earth-rank, high-grade bright lotus plant. They pounced on it like wolves and threw my 3rd sister and the others to the side to fight for the bright lotus plant. I took this opportunity to save them. It was really karma, as they did not expect that the bright lotus plant would be guarded by a group of silver-horned 5-ringed snakes. When we left, they were already surrounded by the group of 5-ringed, silver-horned snakes. As for whether they were dead or not, I don't know. Nonsense. If they encountered the 5-ringed, silver-horned snakes, why didn't they crush the jade token when they knew they were no match for them? You must have used a trick to kill my grandson. Elder Zhang shouted ferociously. Yun Chujio shrugged her shoulders and spread her hands. If they didn't crush the jade token, then it's because they're mentally ill. What does it have to do with me? You're not here to act like a scoundrel just because you lost a bet to our sect, right? How shameless. Chapter 360, Earth-Fire. After saying this, Yun Chujio slipped behind Elder Chu, afraid that Elder Zhang would get angry and hurt her. Elder Zhang's face was livid with anger. Master Xianyuan, there were 3 other disciples with Yun Chujio at that time. I want to talk to them. Master Xianyuan sneered and then sent Yun Chu, Yun Chuki, and Su Yun over. When the 3 of them saw the people from the Heavenly Gate sect, they knew that something had happened. They felt uneasy. Yun Chujio stood behind Elder Chu and shouted, I've already told them everything. Zhang Xiong and the others are worse than pigs and dogs. They suffered retribution and were eaten by the 5-ringed, silver-horned snake. They deserve it. Don't be afraid. Just tell us the truth. Master will make the decision for us. Yun Chu and the other 2 immediately felt a little less nervous. They had already agreed on what they wanted to say, so they could just get on with it. The 3 of them told them what had happened. It was exactly the same as what Yun Chujio had said. Yun Chuki even started to cry while she was talking. We always thought that Heavenly Gate sect was a reputable sect. We didn't expect those 5 people to be worse than animals. If we hadn't met that bright lotus, and if we didn't have Little Jiu, we would have died of humiliation. We begged the sect master to make a decision for us. Yun Chujio did not expect Yun Chuki to perform so well. She gave Yun Chuki 32 likes in her heart. My 7th sister definitely has a future. Her acting skills aren't inferior to mine. Yun Chujio jumped out from behind Elder Chu, she hugged Yun Chuki and started wailing. 7th sister, stop talking. You're making things difficult for the sect master. Can't you see that the sect master of the Heavenly Gate sect has brought a group of people here? They're planning to kill us. Our lives are so miserable. The corner of Master Xuanyuan's eyes twitched violently and he coughed dryly. Don't cry anymore. They'll find out the truth and give you justice. Yun Chujio immediately stopped wailing after hearing what Master Xianyuan said. She dragged Yun Chu and the others behind the elders of Spirit Radiance sect so that they would not be hurt by the people of Heavenly Gate sect. Master Xianyuan sneered, Master Du, you've heard what happened. If we want justice, it should be our sect asking for it from your sect. However, since the culprit has already been punished, let's forget about it. Du Gai laughed coldly. Master Xianyuan, this is just your side of the story. After all, we haven't seen what happened in the mystic realm with our own eyes. The deaths of Zhang Xiong and the others are indeed related to Yun Chuzhou and the others. I have a presumptuous request. Hand the 4 of them over to me and we'll take them back to Heavenly Gate sect. This matter will be treated as if it never happened. Otherwise, our heavenly sect will cut off your sect's earth fire supply. The people from Spirit Radiance sect were instantly enraged. Earth fire was different from ordinary fire, and was especially suitable for refining pills and weapons. Although refining flints could also be used to refine pills, they were not cheap. Secondly, refining flints were not as stable as earth fire, so higher-level pills would be more stable if made with earth fire. Refining pills was still fine. Refining weapons was where the trouble was at. Refining flints could only be used to refine some low-grade spirit weapons, and spirit weapons above middle grade could only be refined with earth fire. The Heavenly Gate sect happened to control an earth fire mountain range, so many sects and forces paid a fee for Heavenly Gate sect to send them earth fire in special containers. If Heavenly Gate sect really stopped providing earth fire to them, it would be a great loss to Spirit Radiance sect. Du Gai saw that the people from Spirit Radiance sect were bewildered. A smug look flashed in his eyes. I'm not an unreasonable person. After all, our 2 sects have always been on good terms. I'll provide your sect with 2 choices. One is to hand over Yun Chuzhou and the other 2, and the other is to give 1/10 of Spirit Radiance sect's share of spirit stones to Heavenly Gate sect. You're tuning into the Han Li's Wuxia Adventures YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.